You're now tuned into the Apartment 5B podcast, where we chop it up about hip-hop, R&B, sports, love and life. Hosted by Kill.
What's good? You to an Apartment 5B podcast hosted by your man, Kel. I got my squad with me in effect as always. I got my brother, Kel from Queens, got the flyest t-shirts in the game, man. What's going on, fam?
Always good to be here, Kel. Salute.
Legendary SOBs, man. You are a legendary t-shirt having nigga, man. I don't know how you do it, where you get them from, bro. I think you really making them in the fucking basement or something, bro, because every week is another t-shirt, man. I can't keep up, man. I got my brother Veg out of BK. What's going on, fam?
What you got on my 40, homie? No. I know you got some high rollers. I was watching Friday the other day. I was like, there's not one line in this movie that's not funny. Like, it's
this dude. The one Cowboys fan on here, Ill Fam.
Hey man, shout out to you for having me. I apologize for all the thumbs down on your video.
It's all good, bro. It is all. It's all good, bro. It's all good. It's all good. I understand. Not doing anything a free agency makes people feel some kind of way, bro. I understand.
No, we got a linebacker.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying? We got
right.
a linebacker. He was doing something. Yeah, he just got off work and he was like, "Yo, check your phone."
Hey, I can't wait for the season to start, man. And Eddie out here looking like he's Spike Lee. What's going on, fam?
Yeah, man, I'm good, man. You know what I'm saying? Just yo, man, it hasn't been many seasons as a Knicks fan to be happy about. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm soaking it in.
All right, nah. Enjoy, bro. Enjoy. I always say the NBA is dope, but when New York is dope. So, you know what I mean? I definitely have always felt that way. Y'all know me. Let's jump right into it. This past week, I sent out a tweet on Sunday, saying something about I was saluting women's basketball for college basketball because I'm like, you know, to me, women's basketball is just killing the game right now. As far as the tournament goes, I don't even care nothing about men's March Madness. I'm all in on this. Nate came to me Sunday like, yo, can we watch a Caitlin Clark game? And I'm like, yo, you know about Caitlin Clark? Like, you don't even watch college sports. She's like, who don't know Caitlin Clark? And I was like, all right, you know, touche. You know, you go into this season, everything with USC was all about Bronny. Now you look at it, everything is about Juju Watkins. Ain't nobody even talking about Bronny. No, when I was watching a USC game, I didn't even know that nigga was playing. You know what I mean? So Juju Watkins is everything. You know, you see him with Dawn, the Heart of North Philly. Staley is doing out there in South Carolina with LSU. That game had more onto it than the Duke North Carolina game the night before. So yeah. I basically was saying, you know, saluting women's basketball because I've been a fan of it for probably the past 16 years. You know what I mean? I've been a fan of women's basketball. My man Yofi, shout out my man Yofi, had he was working for that WNBA at the time. He was like, yo, what would it take to get you to come to the WNBA game? I was like, nigga, courtside seats, free food, and free park. He's like, I got you. You know what I mean? So I used to take Nate down there and it's hard to be courtside and not get excited about anything. I ain't never watched a hockey game. I'm sure if I was courtside or whatever, fucking poolside, whatever the fuck rinkside, whatever they call it, I'm sure if I was rinkside, I'd get hype about that too. But I've been a fan of it. But I was saying that I don't feel like we have anybody who is must-see TV in men's college basketball. And how I'm defining must-see TV is like, you see somebody playing and you got to call somebody on the phone like, yo, you seen this boy? Now, of course, after saying that, now, man, they go, oh, no, you got to see this boy play for Kentucky. Oh, you got to see this boy play for Tennessee. they was talking about some boy. I don't know, Kelp, you the college boy. I don't know if you know some boy who played for Kentucky. And I'm like, I can tell you he ain't must see TV because I've been watching every Kentucky game because DeJuan Wagner's son, DJ Wagner, go there. You know what I mean? And you know, Wani is from across the bridge. So we've always loved Wani in Philly. So I'm like watching every Kentucky game, and I think the boy's name is Rob something. And I'm like, he's nice, but he ain't must see TV. He's not pick up the phone and call somebody. I'll tell you what's must see TV. My man Osei told me about this boy who was in a Maryland community college. He was like, yo, Kills, this boy coming to Maryland, boy named Steve Francis.
Oh, Steve Francis. Okay.
And I said, Steve Francis, you know me. I'm like, nah. The point guard from what was his name? Terrell Stokes from Philly was the point guard from Maryland at the time. I was like, nigga, he ain't better than Terrell Stokes. Man, don't say laugh at me. Like, nigga, wait till you see Steve Francis. Like, and then I seen him and I was like, oh yeah, he better than Terrell Stokes. And he was Steve Francis. So that's what I mean by must-see TV. The last person I could think about that I called somebody about was probably John Morant when he was at Murray State. I remember calling my man Malik like, yo, this boy down Murray State is nasty. You need to tap in. Vay, what about you? Who's the last person who was like must-see TV for you in college ball? Do you watch college ball like that?
I watch everything.
Okay. But who was like the last player that was like, yo, you want to pick up the phone and be like, yo, you gotta see this ball?
Zion at Duke.
Yep.
Zion.
Them games was electric. You haven't seen that in New Orleans yet, really, because he was explosive. The crowd was on fire every time he did something. And I'd seen him in high school also. But, you know, you see a lot of big kids dunking on little kids. And you're like, all right, we'll see what he is when he got to the next level. But then he had a jumper. He had step back. He had all these tools. And then, again, when he would dunk, like, that crowd would just explode like it was 100 points, you know, off the dunk. So I made it my business because, you know, like on the ESPN app, you can follow your teams. But like you said, when somebody's box office, you like, yo, let me follow this so I know when this person playing so I can watch. And yeah, that's how I was with Zion on Duke.
Right. And I love that. That's a great example. You following somebody who ain't even your team because you got to tap in to where they're playing. So for everybody out there in Twitter land, that crack house I call Twitter, that's must-see TV. That's box office when this ain't even your squad and you getting alerts to when this person is playing. I'm not saying the boy down in Kentucky ain't nice and all these people who now are must-see TV. Here's the thing, must-see TV don't wait to get to you until somebody brings up must-see TV. Nigga, we in March Madness. Y'all ain't said nothing. I ain't had one person on Twitter tell me about anybody in college basketball that I should watch. Nobody. Now I bring it up. Now y'all got all these niggas that's must-see TV. It don't work like that, my nigga. That's not how the game is played. Kel, what about you? Who's the last person you remember from college ball who's like must-see TV?
No, it's Zion. Vegas is right. I didn't think about it until he said that, but I think about he's right. I mean, I think of Obama's at the game. So I mean, you know, so and Duke. So you know, that is definitely the person.
Right. What about you, fam? Same thing?
Listen, I was gonna say Zion because, well, I'm also a Duke fan. However, I understand why it disappeared. Have y'all eaten the food in Louisiana? Like, have y'all gone to New Orleans?
Right. Yes, we have.
Listen,
I've never been
real good bowl.
Everybody says that.
If you go to Drogo's or Drago's and have them goddamn char grilled oysters, I understand what happened to Zion, but he was busting through shoes before he got there. So, but yeah, the answer is Zion. He's the last one.
All right. What about you, Eddie?
Yeah, with Zion, I mean, pretty much Zion and the rest of the Duke kids, and obviously like John, and then John Morant, but it was really like Zion and the Duke kids, because I think like Zion and RJ, they both went top 3, and like Ja went 2. Yeah, so I mean, I think the last time we saw that many players in the same team go that high was, I mean, shit, Michigan. Like, when was? Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Now, for people watching this ain't about sports. I'm gonna bring this back to music, but just wanted to define that for some of the crackheads over there on Twitter. Also, before Zion, I remember John Wall was like that. When John Wall was at Kentucky, that was must-see TV too. Like, I remember that. Like, I remember people on Twitter being like, yo, is this the best point guard in college basketball? And I'm like, just let's slow down a little bit. But, you know, it was dope. Veg, what are you going to say?
One more sports reference. It wasn't college, but Wemby. Seeing that dude fucking shoot a three, catch his own rebound, and put it back, like, I was like, okay, I have to watch. Even now,
right?
It was unbelievable.
No, that's a good point because I've never wanted to watch Spurs game, like ever. Right. I mean, Tim Duncan, I've never been a fan of tuning into a Spurs game, but except now. So today we are going to be chopping it up about artists, songs, albums that was must-see TV. So when you heard an artist for the first time and you got on the phone, and keep in mind, a lot of these things for me, we didn't even have cell phones at the time. So a lot of times, like as soon as I got back to the block, or as soon as I got out of school, out of class, and got back to campus, or something like that. But when you heard a song and you was just like, "Yo, did you hear the new this? Or did you hear the new that?" So that's what we talking about today. Must see TV. I like Vegas' thing, box office, songs like that. I'm gonna set us off. And it's funny about this joint. With most of these joints, I can literally remember where I was at when I heard them too. So boom. I'm home, Kelv. I'm home from Morgan for the weekend. I'm coming off Lincoln Drive for all my people in Philly, and I'm turning up. I'm in Germantown, and Power 99 is playing some song. I just hear the beat. It's got Impeach the President. It's crazy. Next thing I hear, Candyman getting scratched. It's unbelievable. And I'm just like, yo, what the fuck is this? And then it's live from Bedford-Stuyvesant, the livest one, representing BK. Bro, I just wanted to pull over the fucking car, get out the car, and stand on the fucking roof of the car like, yo, this fucking nigga is the greatest of all fucking time. When I first heard Biggie's Unbelievable, I was like, I don't even know why niggas still rap. Like, everybody just needs to stop. That shit to me was incredible. I could not wait. And this is still, for people who don't understand, before these cell phones, niggas still had, you know, long distance and had to pay that shit. So even though I'm in Philly, I couldn't even call my niggas in Baltimore, in Brooklyn, or I had to wait till I got back on campus because my moms would have been like, yo, you running up the phone bill again. So, but as soon as I got back to campus, it was like, yo, have y'all heard this new Biggie joint? Like, and I mean, Big was already big, but just hearing Unbelievable, I was just like, yo, like I had to get on the phone. It was impossible. On the R&B tip, same thing. I'm in Philly. This time it's me and T. I'm on Upsole, the street in Uptown, about to pass Stenton Ave, and this song come on the radio again. The beat was crazy, and then this chick is just talking about, tell you what I did last night. I woke up around about 2:45, still so high. I'm like, yo, what? Oops, so it was the Tweet joint, Oops. When I heard that beat, I was like, yo, what? This nigga Timbaland's a fucking alien. Like, it was just like, again, I give up. Why don't I just sell my ASR back and just go back to being the host and just fuck this beat shit? Because when I heard Oops, me and T both was like, yo, again, what the fuck is it? As soon as I got back, I was working for this spot. I had all AmeriCorps members, so college students. So I was like, asking my homegirl Kadrine, like, yo, what is, I didn't even know the chick's name. I didn't even know who it was. I just kept saying some chick fingering herself, talking about oops. Like, that's all I could tell niggas was like, yo, it's a shorty banging herself, and she keeps saying oops. And niggas was like, yo, what the fuck is you talking about? But, you know, I was like, yo, somebody got to put me onto this song. So those were two joints that was must-see TV. I had to make a phone call for those. Kel, what's one of your first joints, bro?
So you know I'm going to Queens.
I didn't expect anything else from you. For people watching, if you've never met my brother Kelvin, everything is gonna be Queens. You could be like, yo, who's the dopest Brooklyn MC? This nigga's gonna be like, Run DMC. Like, who's the dopest nigga from Strong Island? Who is LL Cool J? Like, it doesn't matter. It's gonna be a Queens answer. So what you got?
Almost like you said, you can remember where you were at. So on the block, this is in New York. So I hear Main Source album is already dope. Breaking Down is a classic album, and Five Mics in my opinion. But I hear Live at the Barbecue, I hear Nas come on, and it's like, I mean, just mind blowing, and just saying outrageous shit too, of course, at the same time. So, like, you know, I went to Help with Snuffing Jesus, you know, just like who's this cat, you know? So just hearing Nas for the first time, like, you know, just run up in a block, telling everybody, yo, you gotta listen to this song. I don't know who this dude is, but you know, the album is dope, but this dude right here is on another level. You know, so that for me was one. I got an R&B one too. So I got one. I'm off. This is not Queens, but Take 6. That acapella is 1988.
Oh, Spread Love.
Spread Love. I mean, I guess I wasn't, I just heard, used to him beats and stuff like that, but in the acapella of that, and Red Alert was playing it, and then Mars 45 King Rest in Peace, the break beat on there, and it's him just like, I'm like, all right, yo, this something brand new. It was just off the hook for me.
Yeah, that's a good call, fam. I gotta listen to that. I haven't heard that in years, but I gotta throw that back on. It's funny, Live at the Barbecue was one of mine too. I was at the City Hall train station in Philly, listening to it on the Walkman. And when that nigga said, I went to hell for stuffing Jesus, dog, where's Mark? I wouldn't even say that line for years. I was like, yo, this nigga's going to hell. Like, this nigga's a devil worshiper. Like, that ass. Like, I was like, when I was 12, I da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Like, I ain't even say that shit. I was like, yo, this nigga's a fucking devil worshiper, man. Like, nah, I don't fuck with it. But it was a crazy line, and I think it got everybody's attention. So definitely feel you on that. Fam, what you got up for us first, man?
So, it's a little different. So for me, it wasn't just a song. 96 Cannabis. When you hear this nigga on Beats from the East, and goddamn, you start hearing "hit him in the chest so hard and souls to touch." What, like, he starts saying these lines, and it's like this nigga's. He found a DeLorean. He went to the future, learned how to rap, and came back and gave these raps to you niggas. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it was, I'm like, cuz, and I called Mav immediately. If I wasn't with him, I'm gonna see him in a few. Cuz I went to high school on the Army base, right? And so I had two homies, Wesley and Ronell, would go up top because they were Army kids, and they would go to New York, come down with SNS tapes and clues, I guess, but the SNS tapes was better. But they would come down with these tapes and give me the game. And I'm divvying the game out, and I hear cannabis and the cannabis and the cannabis. And I'm like, yo, 96, 97 Cannabis was goddamn Bo Jackson. It wasn't long, but good God, he ran hot.
Yeah. All right, let me ask you this. 96 Cannabis, 96P.
They play different games. So Cannabis is an acrobat. He's a street baller, right? He might not win you the game, but he's gonna have the flashiest game down at the park. P was that nigga. I just bought a P shirt the other day with a crown on. But no, P was the greatest rapper. He had an argument for the greatest rapper, period, at that point. But P was making songs. Cannabis was making Get Retarded. Like, you know what I mean? It was
right. But you know me, who's better? Like that's cute and all the two different players. Who was the dopest MC that year?
I like bars. I was more of a fan of Cannabis at that time.
All right, no doubt. Kel, what about you? 96P or 96 Cannabis? I already know. Why am I even at? I'm sorry. I apologize. It's Queens.
You just told me.
I'm sorry. Let me go to Brooklyn then. Vegas, 96P or 96 Cannabis?
Biggie. Nah, I'm just playing.
God dang Brooklyn.
I gotta go with P, man, because he had songs. You know what I'm saying? Cannabis Joints was crazy lyrically, but it was like a lot of freestyles and all of that.
All right, Eddie, same for you.
So I'm gonna put it like this: if 96 Prodigy was like MVP, he won the MVP. 96 Cannabis got Rookie of the Year. That's how I say it.
I like that.
Okay,
I like that.
All right.
That's cool.
But you're still saying P was better.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, and the same with me was P. But yeah, great pull with them Cannabis joints because he was killing the game. What basketball player would you compare Cannabis to, whose career was supposed to be so great, and we didn't even get the boy a bounce back chance. It was like after that first album.
Sham God. Cannabis is known for
he gotta be more than Sham God. He gotta be more. Sham God, we didn't expect him from Sham in the league.
But Sham God was known for these, and he was the greatest. We still talk. My
like Kenny Anderson.
No. We do. And I mean, I always give to Sham. I mean, he's the only nigga who has a crossover named after him. But I'm talking about the expectations. Nobody expected. Sham wasn't the #1 pick. You know what I mean? Sham went in the second round to the Wizards. Like nobody in DC was hyped. Like yo, not Sham got Cannabis. Like this was supposed to be the next one.
Cannabis got drafted by the Refugee All Stars.
All right, Bay. Who do you have Cannabis being in the league who was supposed to be so ill but just didn't happen?
I would say Stephon Marbury. I feel like I had great expectations for him when he got in the league. Should have never left Minnesota because I think he would have fulfilled a lot of those expectations. But the minute he did that, you know, it was kind of like he just declined. You could tell he was still nice with it, but it just declined over time. That's how I feel with Cannabis. Like, you know, he on a Firm album, burning things up. He, you know, he shoulder to shoulder with plenty of people, and after a while, just fizzled. He should have been better.
Right. Kel, who you got?
I say Kenny Anderson. So it's a good New York point guard. Kenny started off #2 pick, still with the Nets.
Yeah.
I think John Starks, when he breaks his wrist, that kind of did it for him. He just kind of never recovered and just bounced around Portland, Boston, just bounced all over the league. He even got a documentary out, you know, so you can tell that. I mean, people thought
Yeah, Mr. Chibbs is a dope doc for people who haven't seen it. And Kenny said it himself. The worst thing that could have happened to him was him getting drafted to New Jersey. Like, he needed to go somewhere far. He didn't need to be that close to New York. Like, that was, you know, the depth of it right there. Veg, what you got up for your first picks, man?
Well, I had Cannabis on the hip-hop side for a lot of the same reasons Fam said. I was the same way, man. It was just like with every verse, you know, he would exceed your expectations. You know what I'm saying? When you thought you was going to get tired, he'd say some shit where it's like, yo, this dude is crazy. I like, he the one, he the next up.
Not to mention them freestyles, man. Them freestyles too.
Yeah, the freestyles, the features, you know, beats from the East, you know, the joint on the Firm. Like, I was really looking forward to that because I was like, okay, he on the Firm album. He had the best verse on that song. It was crazy. So
Desperados, right? Yeah.
Right. And my list is similar to what Fam said also, where it's not really songs, but artists when they came out or when they dropped, it's like an event. So on the R&B side, I got Sade. And I'm not even a huge Sade fan. Like, I like Sade. But man, when Sade dropping the album, black people, it's like the bat signal for black people. Like, they just come the fuck out and like, oh, Sade's back. They haven't even heard a single yet, but they know the shit is coming. So when you look at that, that's special. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, not only do you have to tune in or listen to the album, that's how everybody feels, but you also listen intently. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody wants to dissect the lyrics and, you know, all of that. So I think it's dope when, you know, even not being the biggest fan, to appreciate somebody like that and just watch how excited everybody is when she drops. So.
No, that's dope. That's dope. Eddie, what you got up first?
Okay, so along the same lines, so I got an art. It's actually a group that whenever they dropped, like for a period, whenever they dropped, it was like an event. And it's Wu-Tang. It's like they dropped a solo album, right? Obviously, 36 Chambers changed the game. Then they started dropping their solo albums. It got to the point they were dropping all these affiliates like the Sons of Man and shit like that, and people were still checking for them. You know what I'm saying? Like whether they were good or not, like, but people were still checking for them. Like, you can't deny, like, the Wu brand was that strong. That's like, if it had that Wu logo on it, people were checking for it. You know what I'm saying? And then when Wu-Tang Forever came out, it was, that was definitely must-see TV.
Right. No doubt. Wu-Tang Forever. Wu-Tang Forever, 36 Chambers. Which one for you, Eddie?
I'll say 36 Chambers just because it's more concise. I feel like Wu-Tang Forever has an argument to be the best hip-hop double album. Like, it's in the argument, but even then it still has some filler, you know? So I gotta give it to 36.
All right, no doubt, no doubt. The next joint I got up, and a lot of these are gonna be from 889. I was interning. I just started interning there with Vinny B, and he got some promo in the mail. He plays this joint as Nas, The World Is Yours, and like, you know, this is like, I think at this time we'd only probably heard halftime. I don't even think, I'm assuming, it ain't hard to tell, was probably out by then, but this was like the first time like anybody had heard, you know, The World Is Yours, and it was just like the Pete singing. You know, I know a lot of times because the Q-Tip remix, some people have forgotten how dope the original joint was, but the first time hearing that piano and hearing Pete singing and just Nas going, it was just crazy. Like, as soon as I left the radio station, I was on campus like, yo, y'all gotta hear this shit. You know, fucking, you know, Nas, you know, The World Is Yours. Niggas like, yo, let me hear it. I'm like, yo, I don't got it. Like, yo, we gonna play it on Friday night or whatever like that. So I was hyped to sell again for the R&B joint. I'm back in Philly, Uptown, Lime Q Pike. I'm driving, listening to the radio, and it's amazing to me because I didn't realize how much I fucking listened to the radio in the 90s. Like, I don't know when it got cut off. Maybe it was in the 2000s, but it's so funny. I'm like, damn, I listened to the radio a lot in the 90s. But Janet's Got Till It Gone came on, and I was just like, yo, this is fucking crazy because it had that Dilla bounce to it, and I never heard Janet over like that. Got Till It's Gone beat is nothing but a Tribe Called Quest type beat. You know what I mean? It's straight Dilla, then Q-Tip rhyming on it. I just remember going straight to the record store like, yo, I don't know, some shit about Joni Mitchell Never Lies. Like, I don't be paying attention to the words. Like, I'm like talking to the person like, yo, Joni Mitchell Never Lies by fucking Janet Jackson. The shit is crazy. It's got Dilla. And by this time, you know, people who work at record stores ain't even heads no more. So, you know, the shorty probably looking at me like, nigga, what the fuck is you talking about? Joni Mitchell Never Lies by Janet Jackson. So that's what I got. I got a whole rack, so I'm gonna throw in another one too. The first time I heard J. Rules Come Clean, I can't remember if it was a mixtape, what it was, the Water Drops. Cal, I don't know if you remember, it was a rumor around campus that Primo set the sample up, the sample water dripping from the pipes. And
all over.
It was all these rumors about Come Clean, and even this shorty that was my homegirl Erica from Jersey, like, she was even like, yo, you heard this song with the Water Drops? And I'm like, nigga, you know about this joint? And it was just like, that was just like, you know, some incredible shit for me right there. And then it's crazy, this is gonna sound crazy, Calv, I'm with Kennard. I don't know why we're in this fucking list. I know we're in his car. We're in his car, and don't ask me why. Because
yeah, I was going to say this is like, what the fuck you doing with Danny Terrio?
Right, with Danny. No, it's almost like that, but it's like, I don't know. We were in Wendy's drive-thru, and this nigga was like, "Yo, let me play you something. This shit is crazy." And he played me Blackstreet's Before I Let You Go, and I was like, "Yo, this shit is fucking incredible." I just don't know why two niggas was riding around listening to fucking Blackstreet on a Saturday fucking night. But I was like, yo, this song is fucking incredible, man. This shit is crazy. And it was like, I went back and it's like, and it really was like Eddie Murphy, Dan Terry. I'm like, yo, y'all gotta hear this song. Okay, I was just with Kennard in his car, listening to this fucking Blackstreet shit. And niggas like, yo, why the fuck are you with Kennard fucking driving around Baltimore listening to soul music? I'm like, nigga, I don't fucking know. He's in the fucking park, he's in the drive-thru, he threw his shit on. Don't worry about that. The shit is dope. Or whatever like that. Because I think at that time, that was probably the first time I heard Blackstreet. Like, you know, for people out there now, you didn't know what was coming after Guy. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like this guy broke up, and it was just like, not only is this song dope, but this is Teddy Riley's new group, and it's like, oh shit, that's dope. So yeah, but it is a Danny Terrio moment. Fucking yeah. Kel, what you got up next, bro?
I know where you're going. It could be anything with, you know.
It could have been anything, but I don't know why this nigga felt the mood to put a fucking slow jam on a Saturday night in Wendy's parking lot. But yeah.
So my next one I got is I should have started with this because it's before Nas, but EPMD, Business as Usual, Hardcore, and Redman. Same thing, like, You know, I love, and at this point, APMD might be my second favorite group behind Run DMC. And then Red comes on, and I'm like, yo, what the hell? Just barring it up, you know, just crazy, you know, just, and, you know, Red just so expressive, you know, just kind of, just such a unique style, you know, so just something I never heard before. My R&B joint is Lisa Fisher. JR would be proud of me tonight if he was here. Lisa Fisher. I never, you know, same thing. I never heard her before. I heard, you know, they were like, she's on, I think I'm watching Video Soul with Donnie Simpson. And they're like, oh, she used to sing background for Luther. And then, you know, hearing her sing How Can I Ease the Pain?
Oh, man, How Can I Ease the Pain? Man, that shit's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy, crazy. Now, her career, I don't know, and you know, I think she went back to being a backup singer now, but still, just the time was like, yo, who is this singer? Just, you know, running around talking to, you know, people asking, you know, it was like a number 1 hit too, which is a crazy song.
Yeah. For some people watching out there, because there's a young boy out there, it's like, y'all niggas listen to a lot of slow jams. Niggas used to listen to R&B. I hate to break this to y'all young niggas out there who just listening to fucking selling drugs all day and that's it. Like, nah, we listened to R&B. Like, even if not for nothing, when a shorty came over, you need a tape to put on. Niggas listen to R&B. So, like, this whole new generation that just don't listen to no R&B and don't listen to no slow music, I don't know what y'all be on. Maybe that's why y'all out here carjacking everybody. Y'all need to fucking listen to some slow music or some shit and calm down. And the Rat Man shit, man, funny story. My old head, Walt, lived across the street from me in Philly. He used to date the chick, I think her name is Colonel Mayo. She used to write for The Source. She's like one of the big editors at The Source. So he was telling us, he was like, yo, man, like me and his little brother Classic, he was like, yo, man, y'all need to get ready for this nigga Redman. You know, EPMD about to bring him out. And I was like, nigga ain't better than Das EFX. Nigga, what the fuck you talking about? Like, he ain't better than Das EFX. And that nigga just laughed at me like fam just did, like, oh, kill, you fucking child. You have no fucking idea what you're about to hear. And then I heard Arco, I was like, God damn, this nigga Walt was right. Like, because at that time, on point, Das EFX was the, for people watching, y'all gotta understand, there's always a moment in time. We did Apartment 5B about a moment in time. There are moments in times when Das EFX were the dopest MCs on the planet, even if it was just for a month. I don't care. That's why it's called For a Moment in Time. Das was the shit. So it was like, yo, you gotta tell me, and they had their own style. Like, it's easy now to listen back to Das and be like, whatever. But to be brand new to this shit and to be 15, 16 and hear these niggas Mike Checker and Jessamine and Day One EFX and that whole Diggity style, like, it was like, yo, there's no way you could be better than Das EFX. So, but yeah, of course, Redman was better than Das EFX. Fam, what you got up next, fam?
So, real quick, right, with the R&B joints, I'm not gonna have those moments, and I'm gonna tell you why. Like, all right, so I'm a Cologne guy. No. It's better than that, right? But ain't much better than that, but it's better than that. So, like, I'm a Cologne guy, right? And you ever be somewhere and somebody be like, yo, what's that? And you be like, oh, nah. You gatekeep your scent because you don't want the shorties to be like, oh, you smell like Fam. You know what I'm saying? I was gatekeeping these R&B records because I ain't want the shorties come over my crib like, oh, nigga, Jason played this for me last week. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I promise you, I was a big, like, you know what I mean, neo soul nigga, you know what I mean? So I was playing them joints, and I can't really talk about that period of my life no more. But
I understand.
The joint I want to get to, right? I'm younger than Kid. So I'm a little nigga, and we riding around in a car, and normally moms like the R&B records, you know, one two made, da. I want to wait because they got that new stuff, the rap stuff. Let's play the rap record. There was a record that come on, and mom's like this, and my little sister, she too in it, and I'm like, this is crazy. So we all in the car, and like, we don't all agree on this, and we pull up, and now grandmother, she tapping her toes. I'm like, I chased this song for a month to catch it and tape it off the radio, because I wasn't old enough to get taken to the store. It Takes Two from Rob Bass, DJ Easy Rock was a moment.
Yeah,
nigga, I'm putting toilet paper in top of tapes trying to take this joint. I'm sorry, Uncle Earl, my bad. I ain't mean to take over your tape. But you know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, man. And then to realize everybody on earth that was black love that song too.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It Takes Two. Like you said, that was a moment, man. It was a dancing nigga in the video. I had this green Nike sweatsuit. I wanted so fucking bad, man. Everybody out there go watch the video. You gonna see a nigga I'm talking about. He had on this Nike green sweatsuit. I wanted so bad. But yeah, I mean, R.I.P. to DJ Easy Rock. You know, definitely one of those, man. Like.
Listen, man. If you were like of age when that joint came out, and you can't recite that, at least that first verse, then you the feds, man. It's like
true, Eddie, true.
Everyone could recite that first verse, man. There's definitely a moment.
Yeah. No. If I went to my old lady right now and said, I want to rock right now.
Right.
You don't fit it?
Right.
Take all this.
Take it back. I want a divorce. You are not this. You are not my rib. I don't know whose rib you are, but you ain't my rib. If you can't finish this song, you know what I mean? Nah, that's a good point. Yeah, definitely a dope moment, man. Because that thing was everywhere. Babe, what you got up next, bro?
All right, on the hip hop side, I got Nas, but I'm thinking after Illmatic when he's doing shit like Eye for an Eye and Verbal Intercourse and a couple of mixtape freestyles, and then you look in the source and you see Nas is coming. I swear, like, it was the best campaign ever because everybody was acting like, yo, the Messiah's back. I wasn't acting like that, but you know, I could feel it because I'm a hip hop head, you know what I'm saying? And it was crazy because it was like it didn't matter at that point in time who was out or what was out, because the follow-up to Illmatic was on its way, you know what I'm saying? And you know, some people, and we talked about it, some people when they saw If I Ruled the World or heard it, you know, felt a little iffy. But again, when you watch the video, you see that snippet of the message when they in front of Queensbridge Projects with the red lights in the car, you're like, oh, okay, it's different now. So yeah, Nas, and that was 96. So, you know, all that cannabis talk, I don't know what you talk about, you know what I'm saying? When, you know what I'm saying, the bridge brings apocalypse, shooters the clouds. Come on, man.
All right, man. So then, 96P or 96 Nas?
Shit, Nas. And it's close.
Y'all did say that Cannabis got them niggas on their own song, didn't
you? Yeah, but that's the thing. A verse versus verses. It's all about the work. You talking to an MC, you got one verse, you get out the cipher, okay? Bring your arsenal. Cannabis, okay, cool, but Nas and P were, like you said before, were making songs. Nas was on another level.
Yeah, Nas and I love what you said about, because I think people forget about that bridge between Illmatic and It Was Written. You know, because Verbal Intercourse and Eye for an Eye may be two of his hardest verses ever in this nigga's fucking career. You know what I mean? So it literally was like that bridge from these two albums. I mean, Eye for an Eye, I mean, just a drug dealer's dream. I mean, just the way that I mean, those two verses could literally, I mean, yeah. So... And I don't know if a lot of people talk about that bridge, because it's not just, people act like you heard, what was like the last single from Illmatic? Probably like, what was it? Fucking One Love, maybe that was the third single. Yeah. So people act like it went from One Love to fucking If I Ruled the World. And it didn't happen like that. It didn't go like that. There was a lot of stuff in between that moment that kind of bridged that gap. And those two joints right there, I mean, again, that was almost like show off time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if y'all thought that was dope. And keeping in mind, like I always tell people, when Illmatic came out in 94, it was probably recorded in 93, could have been written in 92. You know what I mean? So you're now looking at an MC who's polished his game up. You know what I mean? Like, if you wrote It Ain't Hard to Tell in 92, 93, and now it's 95, nigga, I'm a much doper MC now than what I was then. And it's kind of like again, like, let me remind you niggas, you know, like, what it is. What you gonna say, Eddie?
To your point, right, about them verses, here's another piece to that, is those were two classic albums. Like the Purple Tape and Infamous, so classic albums. So to have standout verses on two classic albums, that's nothing to sneeze at. You know what I'm saying? So you knew he was stepping it up. I mean, Illmatic was a classic, whatever, right? But you know what I'm saying? He could have easily phoned it in. You know what I'm saying? He could have rested on his laurels, but you know what I'm saying? He gave classic verses on classic albums that weren't his.
One thing I'll say about the mid-90s that I love, you couldn't phone it in. Like, you had to bring your A game. Like, this is like, it's like Rucker Park, prime Rucker Park. Like, this ain't NBA TV. No, this is like prime hit. Like, you can't. In 94, 95, you couldn't rest. It was just too many other niggas, like, at your feet. Like, you know, you phone a verse and then OC killed you. Now niggas talking about OC. Like, so, like, that's what I feel like that's what's happened to hip hop lately over the past 20 years. I phone that verse and, you know,
man, I'm gonna save that verse for my album, you know? Right.
Like, you wasn't doing that in the 90s because you may not even be, like Craig Mack said, you may not be around next year to save that verse for your album. Like, nigga, you better come with what you got. Like, even that 18-wheeler for Benny, I felt like Pusha phoned that verse and I was like, this is it? Like, you know, Pusha and Benny finally get on the song together. I was like, this Pusha verse ain't really that crazy. I'm like, did Pusha not fuck with Benny? Like, I heard it. I was like, this ain't great. This ain't the Pusha I know. This isn't this ain't Palmolive Push. This ain't Palmolive Push. That's a different level of Push than that 18-wheeler. I was like, yeah, I don't think he really fucks with Benny like that. Like, it was like, yeah, sure. Like, here you go. Here y'all Griselda niggas go. Here's a verse, but yeah, Eddie, that's a great point because you couldn't phone your verse in back then. You had to come with your A game. Veg, any R&B joints? Or are you strictly hip hop?
No, I got another R&B. Again, I'm thinking about moments when Beyonce dropped "Dangerously in Love." I remember the first time because I wasn't a Destiny's Child fan. All that pay my bills, independent shit. Man, get the fuck out of here! I don't care. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that shit. For the ladies and the little girls. But when I heard the album, Dangerously in Love, I was like, yo, there's not a whack song on it. Like, this song, this is way better than what she had been doing as a group. To me, production-wise, you know, the lyrics, the way she was singing, the diversity in her singing, and it felt like you were watching a megastar because they were already huge as a group. But it's one of those moments where you like, oh, she out of here. If she could sustain this for the next 2 or 3 albums, she never going back to that group, you know. So I just felt like there was. I mean, I know now what the Beehive or what the Bayhive, whatever y'all name is, everything.
Watch your mouth.
They won't do nothing to me.
Yeah,
trust me. They won't do nothing. I've said it before.
I don't know. Them motherfuckers be breaking your crib and shave your head, man. You wake up in the morning with a ball
back at the plate, man. I'm on this podcast talking about Beyonce crazy. They ain't gonna do nothing.
Yeah, you sound like I remember the last nigga was like that. I could say something anti-Semitic, and they couldn't take my sneakers.
Well, I'm just saying, bro. I've been saying what I've said for a while.
Yeah, I feel you. Them stands, man. When who was that just recently? Who was Meg beefing with? And they was like, we got to get the police to protect Meg's mother's grave site. I forgot who Meg was going back and forth with, but whoever it was. Huh?
Was it Nicki Minaj?
Maybe, but I think it probably was. But they was like, yo, we gotta
get the worst, the Barbie.
Yeah, they was like, yo, we gotta get security for Meg Thee Stallion's mother's fucking grave site. I was like, yo, when you got to get security for a person's mother's grave site, you're dealing with some deranged individuals out there, man. So I think
it's different with celebrities because those fans get a lot of extra energy. But I'm gonna tell you like this, let me see you pull up on my lawn, hands and feet, no tweet, hands and feet.
That's the name of the episode.
That's a bar. That's a bar.
Yeah, that's the bar. That's the bar right there. Eddie, what you got up next, bro?
All right, man. I got a hip hop one and I got an R&B one too. This one, I remember hearing this song. I didn't know who it was from. I didn't know where they were from. I just knew this shit was hot, yo. And that song is "I Got Five on It" by the Lunas, yo. It's like certain songs, man, that just transcend, yo. And that beat was crazy, like the way they were rapping over it, like the hook, like everything, man. And dude, I didn't know I didn't know they were from, like, because you know if it wasn't like, you know, NWA, Ice Cube, Snoop, or whatever, right? Like, all right, who's from the West Coast? And that beat didn't sound like typical West Coast either, you know. So it was kind of like, yo, what is this, yo? It's like dark, eerie. What was that?
Club Nouveau, I think, right? Kill? That was a beat, right?
Yeah.
That was a sample.
Yeah, damn. Yeah. Why You Treat Me So Bad, right? Yeah.
It was so bad, yeah.
Yeah, that was a dope.
Yo, it's the crazy thing about that song. I ain't like that song until the goddamn movie Us. And I don't know what it was about it being in the damn movie. I don't know why, man. I just didn't like that joint until Us. Then I love it. I don't.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah, so Jordan Peele needs to. Bro, I need to spend some time in Houston to understand Chopping the Screw, man. I really think I need to be there to really get the gist of listening to this shit real slow. But then I heard you gotta be on some syrup too to really understand it. So, you know, it's a two-plot thing.
Yeah, nah. But that was dope, man. And then my R&B joint. This is actually a song that I first heard on a commercial, and I was like, "Yo, what the hell is this?" That was that Jaguar Wright, the What Ifs. I think that Coca-Cola commercial or some shit. And I was like, yo, what is that joint, yo? Because that shit was dope.
I forgot.
And so,
that's dope.
Yeah, I remember when her album finally came out, you know, copping that joint, man. Because, yeah.
All right, no doubt. Next up, I got Pete and CL's Troy and Smith & Wesson's Bucktown, because I can't remember where. It was like a Jersey radio station that we could get in Philly on Thursday nights, and they played hip hop. I want to say it was maybe North Jersey. I don't know where it was, but it was just a Jersey station on Thursday nights that played hip hop. And I heard both those songs, not at the same time, but just on that station. And I just remember both of the songs just had me with the horns. Like, it was the Bucktown horns, and it was the Troy horns, and it was like next day at school, it was like, yo, this shit's something about They Reminisce Over You and Bucktown. That was crazy. Channel Live's Madism. I'll never forget, we was driving on Lock Raven and 889. Before I was up there, they played it, and it was just like, yo, you hear the beat come in, and then KRS is rhyming, and it was like, yo, what the fuck is this? You know what I mean? We used to even call on the radio station like, yo, what are y'all playing? You know, whatever like that. So that was crazy. Back then with KRS Out of Here, man, the first time I heard Out of Here, man, I was like, because I wasn't a fan of like the edutainment and sex and violence. Like, it'd be songs, but I wasn't a whole album BDP fan like that. And when I heard Out of Here, I was just like, yo, it's okay. He's back. Like, there ain't no rap about that. He's back. On the R&B side, Mary's My Life, the song. Like, when I heard the song with the Roy Ayers joint, with the, and again, like, I'm just really getting into digging, so I'm not like, oh, that's Roy Ayers. I'm like, oh, that's Brand Nubians, you know, like that's where my mind was still at the time. So I was just like, yo, this is dope. And then Lucy Pearl's Dance Tonight, man. Like, the first time I heard that, I was like, yo, this is crazy right here. Like, that Lucy Pearl album literally had me wanting to learn how to play bass. Like, I popped that album in and I heard that. I was like, yo, I need to take some goddamn bass lessons, man, because this nigga Sadiq is on some old next level bass playing. So those are some of the joints. And like I said, I got joints for days. That's why I'm just naming them off. Kel, what you got up next, bro?
I'm gonna go to skip a little bit, but you said Fam got Cannabis. I said Cannabis. I have Cannabis on my list too, but you just brought me back to you to my Block Raven. I think I might have been Block Raven or Cold Spring, one of the two, but someone was blasting Smooth the Hustler, Broken Language. I'm like, yo, what is this? What is this? Just like, and for weeks I didn't know what it was. And like you said, there's no Shazam. I don't know what this is. Just listen to people's cars playing this joint. So that joint was just like, you know, mind blowing. And then on the R&B tip, I got Mary too, but I got Mary back for the Strictly Business soundtrack. And I'm like, you know, same thing. I'm like, who's this? But just the way the song came on, her singing and stuff, just kind of.
Now, what was on that joint? Was that Reminisce? What was on?
You Remind Me.
You Remind Me, right. Strictly Business slept on soundtrack out there. My man Jeff Rad, you called and told me. Kuba's Fat Rad is on there. Very slept on soundtrack.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
yo, that's a dope joint. That Broken Language, bro. I never forget. The A side was the Hustler, and the B side was the Broken Language, and they and the labels was pressing us to play the A side. They was like, "Yo, we going for ads and spins on," because that was back in the day, it was like the A side is for the radio, the B side is for the street. So it was like, "Yo, play hustling." But all the DJs at Strictly Hip Hop was like, "Nah, we playing this shit." Like, and then that just took over because and then that style, and then. I don't know if y'all remember Heather Headley. She had this song called He Is. And when I heard that, I was like, yo, you biting Smooth the Hustler like that. He is the joy protector. I was like, you really biting Smooth the Hustler, shorty? Like, yo, come on, man. Y'all neo soul people ain't supposed to be biting niggas style like that, man. But that Broken Language was crazy. And Vank, I think you was the one who told me that they had beef with Trigger and Smooth, right?
You mean with MOP?
With MOP. Oh, what was it? The Little Daddy Shane? I thought it was like a slick line at the end. Was it you who was telling me about it? Somebody was telling me about that little. They got a line at the end when they be like Little Daddy Shane something.
Yeah, Big Daddy Kane and Little Daddy Shane overdoers. I think Little Daddy Shane had a problem with it, but who cares? Like,
right.
Remember, like
that literally may be the worst name in hip hop ever. Like Little Daddy Shane. Like somebody should have said, bro. Like this is too close for home, bro. Like we gotta get. So they had beef with MOP.
They didn't have beef, but MOP didn't like they felt that DR Period, once they split from him, was getting another MOP. So Fame was the one who was really like, record labels need to stop that whack shit you be promoting. Niggas' language is broken. Like he was going shot their way. I said that backwards, but. Smooth the Hustler and Trigger, you know, they were fans of MOP because they said
Brownsville too, right?
How about some hardcore fan singer? Like they were kind of late, but you know, it's MOP. They kind of like, nah, fuck
that. Right. I'll tell you this, I didn't even realize this, that Saigon and Lil Fame rumbled each other.
Word?
A word?
Yeah. I forgot where I heard that, but Saigon said it. Like they rumble like outside Juniors or something in Brooklyn, like something about that. You know what I mean? So I'm like, damn, these two niggas. Now that's a fight I would have wanted to see right there. You know what I mean? That's something I would have paid pay-per-view for that joint right there, even if it only lasted a minute. You know, a hood fight don't last long, but I'll pay $50 for a minute to see Saigon and Lil Fame rumble each other. I'll go in on that. I'd rather do that than Tyson and Jake Paul. So you know, I'd rather do that. Fam, what you got up next, bro?
First of all, that's a fight that if somebody said that it happened, I'd 100% believe those two gentlemen was down for your man Squabble.
Right.
So one more time, I said I grew up and then I went to school on the Army base. So I got to meet folks from all over. So one of my best friends, he was the best man at my wedding, down south guy, Florida. Shout out to Junior. He was like, yo, these is my guys, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I don't care. I like Wu-Tang, like whatever. And then I go home, or I go to my grandmother's specifically, and I cut on Rap City, and they playing this video with these two niggas rapping. And the nigga come on there talking about, I was in the mall the other day, got a call from the other way I just came from. Some niggas saying something, talking about, hey, man, listen. I was like, oh, nah, he's different. I said, Junior, you heard it. I told you. And when I hear Elevators for the first time, my mind was just completely. Yeah. And then the hook was like the same stuff that's in Cocaine got to be in that hook, because everybody on Earth was singing that goddamn You, and they didn't even know what bold, like Rolling On. They didn't know what that meant. They were just saying it. And yeah, man. So hearing Elevators for the first time was 100% must see TV. And I do have an R&B joint, but it's for different reasons. The first time I heard, I'm in the car. I'm in the car with moms, and everybody loves it. I love it. Moms love it. Sister love it. But then I heard him say something about her sister's chocolate tart. This nigga talking about weed. But I couldn't tell my mother they was talking about weed. I had to go to school. You know what I mean? Hey, this nigga talking about weed. You know what I'm saying? So D'Angelo, Brown Sugar was one of those times that I had to tell some goddamn body.
Right. That's funny. I got D'Angelo. I got shit damn motherfucker for one of mine. I was at my man Cool DJ Frank crib. He was like, yo, you gotta hear this nigga D'Angelo. Like, this nigga different, yo. Like, it was all, like you said, like, it was already like, yo, he already snuck weed in the R&B radio. He's like, you gotta hear what this nigga done did now. I'm like, what the nigga done did? He's like, yo, this nigga done killed the motherfucker. Like, I'm like, nigga done killed somebody. Like, yo, the name of the song is called Shit Damn Motherfucker. I said, oh, yeah, I fuck with this nigga. This is my kind of nigga right here. So, I feel you on the D'Angelo. Like,
somebody just told the story that they saw the name of that record. They were supposed to do a session with D'Angelo and was like, that's the name of the song? Never mind. It might, like somebody that ended up coming back around, like James Port. One of the niggas that ended up was with Soulquarians. I can't think I don't think it was Quest, but it was one of them niggas that was like, oh, what's the name of the record? I ain't gonna make the session.
Yeah. It probably did, because Quest and them they ain't even get down with D until after Brown Sugar was released. I want to say Quest said during the Source Awards, the 95 Source Awards, he got the snippet for it. So he wasn't even fucking with D back then or whatever like that. But I can believe that, because the R&B nigga see that for your title. It's like, nah, I'm going to stay very far away from that shit. Like, yeah, nah, I'm good on that. Veg, what you got up next, bro?
On the hip-hop side, I think at some point in time, Grand Puba was box office. It didn't matter if he was in Brand Nubian, if it was solo, if it was on Mary shit, if it was on Pete Rocket's Heel Smooth shit. It was like, yo, you heard what he said? You know what I'm saying?
You could not lose
what he had on
with Puba. You could not lose. If it said featuring Puba, nigga, that was literally the equivalent of seeing something in 95 saying produced by Premier. You didn't care who it was, what it was. Puba was box office, and like I always say, not just for the rhymes. I don't know another MC ever in the history of music that it was also, what is this nigga wearing? Like, you knew the nigga was gonna have on some Low, some Hill Figure. I still rock Low to this day, a portion of Cuz of Puba. Like, everything. I have this Low piece, I'm still looking for this Alpine long sleeve rugby he had on Yo MTV Raps when him and Mary did What's the 411 in 1993. It's 2024, y'all, and I'm still looking for this fucking rugby. I've seen it for $1,500. I ain't paying $1,500 for no rugby shirt. Ain't gonna happen, but one day I will find it somewhere. But Veg, I'm with you on that. I always try to tell people that, again, for a moment in time, y'all, for a moment in time. Because these people, like, think about like now, Veg, J. Cole has been dope for how long?
10 years, maybe.
10 years. Same with Kendrick, right? About 10 years. Same with Drake, 10, 12 years. A lot of artists in the 90s weren't around for dope for 10, 12 years. So it's like this younger generation, I believe, has a different, like, the way they understand the greats is like, well, how could he be great if he wasn't great for X amount of years, like J. Cole is, or like Kendrick is, or like Drake is, or like Fonte is? It's like, we had in the 90s, you had these moments and times when, like, yo, Tretch was just the dopest nigga on the planet for fucking 9 months, and then somebody new popped up, and we went to him. And so again, just to co-sign what you're saying, Veg, yeah, Puba was he was an enigma in hip hop. Like, I really can't explain to him how he may have only been dope, the dopest for like a year, but niggas is still talking about him 24 years later. Like, you know what I mean?
I got to send you this podcast, Kill. He's on the podcast. You know, he don't really talk too much. I can't even think of who's interviewing him, but they're pretty much saying what you're saying. They were like how he kind of basically sabotaged his own career, basically by doing, you know, not doing some things and stuff the right way. And but yeah, to your point, like he's box office. He was the top of the game.
Yeah.
I think the difference between like this generation and past generations with hip hop is nowadays, like, they'll anticipate these guys with the same level of anticipation, but they'll be done with them much quicker than we would back in the day.
Sure. Yeah.
Right? Like, it felt like Puba was hot for 5 years. You know what I'm saying? Even if it was 1 year, because for one, you didn't get that much music, but also, you know, we sat with music a little bit longer than they did. Right. So, you know, and like you said, it's not traveling as fast because you don't have the internet. So, you know, it could come out during the summer and you talking about it with family at Thanksgiving for the first time, just because you're in the same space and the song is playing. So, yeah, I just think that it's almost like the same thing, but it's just a different time. Their shit is just more sped up. On the R&B side, y'all already know my Lord and Savior, Michael Jackson. At one point, and y'all know this, and you know, like, this speaks to everybody, right? Like, cannabis, everything you mentioned, because you felt like it was the only thing that was happening. And I think with Michael Jackson, you know, Off the Wall was just already crazy. And Thriller just felt like it was bigger than the Super Bowl, the World Series, the NBA Finals. He was box office, but he was box office every time he dropped.
Because you could say,
right. You anticipated every album. You anticipated these movie-like videos, some of which premiered after hit television shows. And some people didn't even watch the shows. You just like, oh yeah, I don't really fuck with Fresh Prince, but Michael got a song coming up right at the end of the shit. So it, you know, like, it's equivalent to how the Bayhive is when Beyonce's dropping something, and it's like, all right, stop everything. What we doing? We wearing cowboy hats? Okay, let's go. It's trash, but I ain't gonna front. Some of them now, they like, hey man, cowboy, come on now. Do we want to go that far? But with Michael, it was like that. Every time he would drop, you know, it was an event, from the I'm Bad movie, right? Thriller, you know, coming out with the whole tape and the making of and all of that. And you know, even like Black or White, I think that premiered right after an episode of In Living Color. So
yeah,
it was just one of those things where every time he dropped, it was like the world would stop to hear the thing and then talk about it. Yeah. Which would be crazy today with the internet, like, so. Even
when people were clowning on him, like, I remember when You Are Not Alone dropped, even that was an event, and like that was when he was with Lisa Marie, and like people were still clowning on him, but people still tuned into that shit.
Right.
Yeah. Damn, I forgot he was with old girl. That's who his kids is by?
Nah, the
nanny. You talking about Blanket and them?
Yeah, the nanny, right?
Wait, Michael was making a nanny?
Yeah, she looked wild. Like, I don't know if I can't put that body on Mike Jackson. Shorty looked crazy. Like,
he didn't bone it though.
They was knocking out Brooke Shields and
what you mean he ain't bone it? With this some like artificial insemination, John?
Yeah, probably. He was like, hold that.
He probably got an extra bag to carry his kids.
This nigga fam, man. This nigga fam. I don't even know what we're gonna do next Friday. I don't even know what this show is gonna be like next week. Eddie, what you got up next, man?
Oh man, I guess Vegas kind of threw me an alley-oop. I already had this one coming, but I'm gonna talk about Busta Rhymes, like when Disaster Strikes, like that album, when he killing every single video, man. Specifically Put Your Hands Where My Eyes Can See. And man, and it was crazy too, man, because you know we knew the rah Busta, and he was more like smooth, laid back. Like that beat was crazy. The video, you know what I'm saying, with the Coming to America theme, like yeah, now that shit was crazy. And then Dangerous video was crazy. And then from then it was just like every time we dropped the video, we were checking in. Period.
Yo, real quick,
that was
Morgan State Homecoming when Busta was there, and that song was out.
Ooh,
Wow.
Hey, let me. Can I ask y'all a question? Because I love that stuff, but I wasn't as outside. What was it like dancing with a chick when Put Your Hands with like? How you catch the jump? Like, you know what I mean?
All right, so next up, I got for me, I got J's in my lifetime. My OG Groups came down from Queens, and he had the 12-inch. He was like, yo, this new Jay-Z. And at the time, I'm used to the Can I Get Open Jay and that, you know, that Jay. So when he put that on, my mind was just blown, like, yo, what this nigga's talking about drugs, this nigga got a smooth flow, like this nigga just totally reinvented himself or whatever like that. And I remember going on campus like, yo, this new Jay is crazy. We played that night on 889, but it was just like, yo, I don't know if there's been a time when I've seen an MC like really reinvent himself like that. Like to go from not saying nothing about drugs. Like Jay-Z up to that point was not a drug dealer. You know what I mean? To where, boom, now you get this In My Lifetime 12-inch, and then with the Big Jazz remix on the B-side, which was even crazier than the Ski In My Lifetime, was just, I don't know, vague. Kelv, have y'all heard of, can y'all think of an MC reinventing themselves like that?
Smiling in my face, glad to break bread with the God. Changed his whole style, man. He wasn't rapping like that. Now, the drug dealer side was real. Just because he wasn't rapping,
right.
Don't mean it wasn't.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I just wasn't. That's not what I was expecting
Biggie
from. Right.
Biggie did it. Right. He was. Give me the loot. Biggie got the hype shit.
Yeah. See, I felt like Biggie changed his style. I see what you're saying. See, I felt like I felt like Jay was a whole new MC. Like I felt Big was still on some rah-rah shit. So from Give Me the Loot to like Give Me the Number One, my opinion, this nigga was some nigga just robbing niggas, just wilding the fuck out. His style kind of smoothed out, but maybe it is the same. I always looked at Biggie and Buckshot, like, because Buck was real amped, and then by the time we got the, you know, How Many MCs, he was real smooth with it. You know what I mean? But I guess you could say the same for Jay.
You're right though, because Jay not only changed his flow, but he changed his subject matter.
Right, like everything changed. Like Big was still a Brooklyn nigga. He just became like, this nigga's just smoother with it, you know. Right. But yeah, but I was just blown by that. When I heard Award Tour, man, I was in Lancaster with my man Drew, my homegirls Monica and Tasha from Philly and Brooklyn. We were like shopping and Redden for Timberland. You know how we used to go hit the Redden, the outlets, and go to the Timberland outlet, and then Shorty's go to the Coach outlet and all that. They played that on the radio, bro. I was so hyped because it was like, oh, we getting more Tribe. Like this is like coming off low end. You don't know what you're gonna get. I heard Awards, so I was like, yo, this is crazy. Again, 889 production studio. We heard Crew Love with Beans, and I was just like, yo, I don't know who the fuck this nigga is, but this nigga Beans, the whole Monopoly thing, I was like, yo, inviting niggas up to the station, like, yo, come on up and listen to this shit right now. Another 889 studio, Lucchini. The first time I heard Lucchini, I was just like, yo, I can't see, for people watching, I can't really explain to you how thorough being at a radio station in the 90s was, because you're getting all this music weeks and sometimes months before any other human being on earth can hear it. Then it's just like, yo, come up and hear this Lucchini shit. Dre's Deep Cover. The first time I heard Deep Cover, I was just like, yo, this is crazy. Number one, the beat is crazy. This is after Niggas for Life. You don't, NWA is breaking up. There's no internet, so you really don't know what's going on. You hear the beat, which is crazy. Then you hear Snoop, and it's like, yo, who the fuck is this? Like, you know, Maniac, what you say in Black call him Snoop Eastwood. I said, yo, what the fuck is this? So it was like, you gotta hear that. Rakim's been a long time, man. I'm in Philly. We on Broad Street, driving down South Street late at night, Power 99 playing it. Again, you hearing the beat first, then Rakim come in. It was like, yo, and you can hear the scratching, so you know it's Premier. And it was like, yo, if these two get in the album together, like, yo, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. And again, this is after Don't. I don't even know, like, do y'all know how long between Don't Sweat the Technique and Rakim's solo joint was? It was years, right? Like, it was a minute.
It was. Oh, I can't remember the amount of time, but I know when Don't Sweat the Technique was out, I was in high school, and by the time that came out, I might have been out of college or getting ready to graduate.
So that was 97? 97, 98, right? 98.
Okay,
and I think Don't Sweat the Technique was probably like 92, 93, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it had been a minute. I mean, Rakim had been with Dre out there on the West Coast and all that, but for that amount of time. So again, for people watching who weren't there, you got to understand the excitement of not really hearing Rakim for 5-6 years, and then hearing that, and it's like, this nigga ain't missed a step. Like, it wasn't like, he ain't a sharp, or niggas was in the car hype as shit. Like, oh, new Rakim, this is crazy. On the R&B side, I got Sleepy Brown Sleepy Theme album. Now, a lot of people don't know about this album, but he's got an album out. It's called Sleepy's Theme. And it was like him and 2 other boys. I've only done this with this and fucking Kevin Hart's, what's the name of that movie he did with Rockefeller? Paper Soldiers, where I gave a money back guarantee. Like, if you buy, it used to be on Amazon back in the day. If you brought Sleepy's Theme and you didn't like it, I would give you the money out of my pocket. That's how dope this album is, that I literally would pay you. If you honestly could say, yo, Kill, I brought this album and I didn't like it, I will pay you what you spent for it on Amazon. The album is that good. I'll also go with Soul II Soul's Keep On Moving. The first time I heard that, I was on the bus coming back from high school. And again, I don't know what it is about my brain. Y'all know I'm not good with lyrics. I'm like, all I kept saying was, yellow is the color of some rain. And yeah, I know it's sun rays, but I kept saying some rain. So niggas is like, a song about piss? I'm like, nigga, I don't know what the song is about. But that's all. I always fuck this up. Like, it was like, yo, so I don't know why I didn't hear Keep On Moving. For as many times as they say Keep On Moving, it would be common sense that the name of the song is Keep On Moving. Not to me. I'm like, yo, songs like Yellow is the Color of Some Rain. You know, niggas was like, nigga, I don't know what the fuck you talking about. But Keep On Moving is just Keep On Moving. I mean, it's one of the greatest songs ever. Yeah. So, Kel, what you got up next, bro?
I got going back to Taking Back the Queens, of course, but this is more. It's Nas, but it's not Nas. It's AZ. So hearing AZ, same thing. Like visualize. You know, I'm just hearing them. Like, all right, who's this dude? And another again. Then I got a moment, almost like you said, Kel. I was with Osei one time, so we were going to Howard Homecoming. Same thing, War Tour's playing, and I'm like, so he scooped me on that. I'm like, it was like this new tribe, and just, you know, we get to Howard, he blasting it, everybody on Georgia Avenue, like, yo, what's that playing? You know, everybody stopping, like you said, it's a moment here in New Tribe. Everybody was just, you know, just reacting like that. On the R&B tip, I got another soundtrack, Boomerang soundtrack, Toni Braxton. Same thing, like, all right, she sounds like Anita, but she's not Anita, you know, but. You know, just hearing the voice and just the, you know, obviously with Babyface and all. I'm like, yo, this is dope. It's real dope.
You know, Kel, something you talk about that's so missed is just hearing songs and cars passing by. Like, it's like El said, like cars drive by with the booming system. Like, that was really an element of the 90s where you would just be like, yo, I remember the first time I heard Who Shot Ya? YZ was driving on campus in that green Maxima he had, and it was just like, yo, what are you playing? Like, you would just hear, I think the boy's name was Dre. He was from Jersey, had a red Benz when we was freshmen. He would always be driving around. Like, that was the thing. You would just be hearing something in a car passing by and just be like, yo, what is that? You know what I mean? And those are some good times, man. Those are some good times to just be like, yo, like, you know, like you said, there was no Shazam. These kids got it so easy. Like, it's just literally like, oh, let me just hit the button. Okay, boom, okay, let me download it on iTunes. Got it. Like, nigga, it could take us 3 weeks to get it. Like, literally, we could be like, yo, what song was that? Like, and you have no other way to explain it, or you don't know who it is or whatever. So, I mean, these are just some dope memories, man. Not just only dope pulls, but just dope memories of how we used to hear new music. You know what I mean? Like,
it's funny you talk about like the value of music, and because of what we had to do to get music. We've all gone through 2 eras that are insane. First of all, the easy, obvious one is we had to get in a car and go to the mall and go to Kemp Mill or whatever in any of these stores, right? But then when we were all also part of that internet era where we would plug our internet into these websites that would absolutely give our computers AIDS. But we would try to get these songs, and it take 2-3 weeks to download these goddamn records, and then you finally get the record, and the record was hot. But it's like we had to go through so much to get the music that we were trying to get to, and now it's
not to mention a third era, which was waiting for the song to play on the radio so you could record it on your tape.
Facts.
Yeah. And I think that may have been the most stressful one, because I know in Philly, and I'm sure most cities did, but we had the Power 9 at 9, and you just hoping that this was going to be one of the top 9 songs, and you could just get it again. And, you know, again, before we had radio stations that was just dedicated to hip hop, it's like you wouldn't know when the song was going to play. You know, it was almost like Russian roulette. Like, is it going to play at 5 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 6 o'clock? Like, it's like, yo, it's like, yo, you know what I was thinking about the other day, fam? When we used to have to program VCRs. Like, and just to think about how easy it is now, it's like, oh, I want to take first take. Okay, boom, record. Do you want more settings? Yep, record all of them. Like, niggas used to be at the VCR, like, okay, you know, my mom would have me programmed it to record her soap operas, and it's like, you would literally have to sit there and be like, damn, I'm not going nowhere. Like, niggas like, yo, you want who? Nah, nigga, I'm waiting for this song to come back on. I'm not leaving the fucking house, my niggas. Like, I'm not fucking leaving. Like, we were kidnapped. This is, again, I mean, Static Selector has always said it. He said, you will never love this culture as much as I did if it didn't save your life. That's one thing. And then 2, I don't think you'll ever love this culture as much as we do, because you didn't have to do what we had to do to be able to get what we wanted to get. You know, niggas put their lives on the line for this culture. Niggas' parents was like, yo, if I hear that hip-hop shit again, you fucking punished for the rest of the summer. Niggas was risking life and fucking limb for this culture. Like, niggas was like, yo, Pop, if you gotta punch me, just do what you gotta do. But I'm gonna listen to this goddamn song. Like, you boys are telling grown-ass men, like, just do what you gotta do to me. Like, do what you gotta do, but I'm not gonna stop listening to this shit. Like, this is what we were willing to do. So for the young boys to be like, yo, y'all OGs is gatekeepers, and y'all niggas get to do whatever the fuck y'all want to do. You put on your headphones, you go in your fucking room, you download some music for free, and you listen to it all fucking night, and your parents have no idea what the fuck you're listening to. Dog, y'all just got it easy. And we're not hating on y'all for having it easy. You know, that's great. But at the same token, this is why we love it so much, this is why we fight for it so much, because of what we had to do to get it. What you gonna say, Vag?
I was gonna say, because I didn't want to forget, you should do a show like your top 5 stories of you hunting down a song, whether it's taping it off the radio, going to buy it or whatever. Because you made me think about like, what's the song with Positive K and MC Lyte? I always forget the name.
I got it. Yeah,
that's now I got him, man. That's I'm Not Having It. It was off.
I'm Not Having It.
I'm Not Having It. Oh, right.
I remember I always used to hear parts of that song on the right. I always used to hear parts of that song on the radio, and I didn't know what. I knew it was MC Lyte. I knew it was Positive K, but I didn't know the name. I didn't even hear the whole song. and it was like this mission of me cussing at the radio because I know y'all did like, nigga, play the shit you played last week. Hey, y'all like play that shit so I can get it. Like, but yeah, when you think about all those,
I used to talk to you through the radio like that, babe.
What you say?
He said he used to talk to you through the radio like that.
Oh,
play the record. Play that goddamn Ghostface.
Don't call up and say play the record because me and Ak was different. We'd be like, what? Yeah. Man, shut the fuck up. We wasn't killed. We was ready.
Obviously, I was the nice guy. I didn't realize when Vegas took over the station, it was like the shit went into lockdown. Niggas ain't come through no more. Yeah. It's like, nigga, nah, man, nah. It's new fucking sheriff in town, man. Niggas just don't hang up here no more, man.
Yeah, some really nice people. I had to apologize to because when I first got on, I was like, if you ain't Ak or these DJs, get the fuck out. Right.
I had that shit. Everybody was up there at the station. Niggas was coming through after the party. Everything. All of Baltimore was at the radio station with me up there. But we did. That's a good show. We did a show similar. It was your top 5 like record hunts, like stories of like my man Greg was talking about. Like he was trapped in the projects in Queens one time where he went to this shorty crib. She brought him the album and she went to the crib and the niggas was waiting for her. He's like, oh nah, well, guess gotta spend the night here. So like Greg was talking about when he stole his mom's car to go get Life After Death. Like we were just talking about the craziest stories. We had to like go buy records. You know what I mean? But it was like, yeah, like niggas like, yo, this nigga stole his mother's fucking car, man.
That's crazy.
Like, this is what people were willing to do. And this was for Life After Death. Like, it was like a midnight drop. And he was like, fuck it. Me and my cousin gonna get the car. Mom's gonna be asleep. We just gotta make sure we get it back in the same place. And like, this is what you willing to do for music. Like, and that's where this passion comes from that I think a lot of us old heads have. Because we did risk life and limb. Like some of the shit we did for music, y'all wouldn't do for your best fucking friends. You know what I mean? Like, nigga, I ain't stealing my mom's car to come pick you up. Like, you wouldn't even do that for your man, but niggas is doing that for music. Like, that's how much, we cared about this, man. So yeah, that's yeah, man. That's a good point, Eddie. Sitting there by the radio and you kidnapped because you got no fucking idea if they gonna play. And back in those days, you couldn't get through. At least at 889, you could call enough, you get through. Power 99, I'm sure, Hot 97, the BLS and Kiss, I'm sure, nigga, y'all got 1 billion people in New York City. You ain't getting through, to be like, yo, what's the name of that song you played last week? So, yeah, those are the 3 eras of waiting by the radio, waiting for the shit to download, yeah. And then, like you said, having to go to the store and actually buy the shit, you know what I mean? And at least back then when you had a whip, man, we used to have to get on the bus and the train, and you risking life and limb going that way too. Because you coming home with a bag of records and niggas can see there's a bag of records in there. Nigga, you a young nigga, I know you probably got that, so you risking life and limb to get robbed, to go buy this record. So
no, I didn't.
Again,
I didn't have that one. I didn't have that.
You ain't had that, bro?
No. I mean, I can get on the train. I can get on the train and get the Inner City Records in 2 stops. And I mean, it was a junkie on the train. Niggas was gonna rob me.
Going downtown to Philly, man, that shit was like you want to die. You know what I mean? Like you have a death wish. So, yeah, I don't even know where he left off. Was it Vague or Eddie? Who was up next?
It might actually. I think I started it with talking about the era, but I didn't get my record off. Another record that I chased down on the radio. There was an era where you were talking about dudes listening to R&B. There was an era where hardcore niggas like to dance. Like, tough guys was like, oh, listen, down here, because I was right here on the Army base, we used to have what was called the DYA dance. The Department of Youth Services would have these dances for the young kids. And then they'd have them in high school. But one joint that they always played at these joints, and I will always hear part of it on the radio, was Rolling with Kid and Play. And I could never get the whole song. It was another one of those joints I had to, you know what I'm saying? Like sit there and wait. Is they gonna play it? Is they gonna play it? They ain't play it. And I love that it's another joint that starts with dope horns. And they had that go-go beat to it. They had them congos in it that went crazy, man. It's actually when I started just collecting records, that was like one of the first 5 records I bumped into was Rolling with Kid and Play, man. That's one of my favorite records ever.
Yeah. I mean, dog, in Philly, niggas would be doing the Kid and Play kickstep before they robbed the whole fucking house party. Like, yeah, niggas would be dancing, and then it'd be like, nigga, you robbing us? Like, nigga, we was just chilling. Like, what the fuck? Like, you know, so yeah, there was an era where niggas was like, shit, you saw New Jack. I know it's a movie, but you saw Nino and New Jack City dancing. Like, niggas danced in the 80s. Like, niggas got that shit in. Then they go in the back room and kill you and sell fucking keys of coke, but nigga, everybody was dancing, man. Everybody was dancing. Bae, what you got up next, man?
I have Little Brother. There was a point in time where like it was like I felt like I had to put no soliciting on my office door at EAA because Ak and them was like, yo, just play it, yo, just listen. And you know, I was reluctant because Kill, like you, the first thing out their mouth is like, it's the new Tribe. And I'm like, what? Right. Like, nah, first of all, don't evoke their name in that way. So I was a little jaded, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I heard the listening and I was like, yeah, this is dope. But you know, when you've been in hip hop forever, you done been a DJ, you done rapped, you done had a hip hop radio show, you done wrote about hip hop. We heard it all. So niggas being nice isn't something new. But man, when I heard the Minstrel Show and I heard the mixtapes, I was just like, okay, these dudes are special. And it was almost like Little Brother was up next to me. But yeah, man, I just remember listening to that joint and just having to go back in the studio with Scooby and Ak, like, all right, little niggas, y'all right. Brother's high.
It's funny you talk about being jaded because I was the same way because niggas was like, yo, same thing. They the next Tribe. Yo, Pete Rock invited them up to the basement. And I was like, word? I was like, it's cool, but goddamn, they got an invite to the basement? Like, you know, why? Now I'm like, why is drums so stiff? And they like, oh, you make them on a computer. I'm like, oh, okay, now I'll pass. I always liked Fonte. Fonte to me was always the star. It's like, I felt like if I was an A&R, you know how niggas be like, D'Angelo came up to New York with his little group and it was like, yeah, y'all cool, but what about him? You know, or like, Dilla's like, hey, here's my group Slum Village. And Tribe's like, yeah, what about you? Like, that's if I was an A&R, I feel like I would have been that way listening to the list. And I would have been like, y'all cool, but what about you, man? Fonte, why don't you let me sign you? You know what I mean? And Pooh really showed me a lot when he did an album with Knots. Like that album with Knots to me is like incredible. That's when I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, I was like, oh, okay, like this nigga's nice too. You know what I mean? But yeah, I definitely feel you with that. What you gonna say, Eddie?
Yeah, like my thing with Little Brother, like I remember hearing about the listening, like on OK Player, hearing about Little Brother and the listening, could not find that shit. Could not, like, I guess I miss when they dropped the links, whatever. Could not find that shit. You couldn't cop it. So first I heard of them was they had the Chitlin Circuit 1.5. It was the first time I heard Little Brother, but actually first time I heard Fonte.
Somebody pager going off? Somebody got a pager? Y'all old school on us?
Oh no. She might have been
my find out, Eddie.
I got 5 keys coming in Wednesday.
Eddie got his New York Knicks pager on, the Spike hitting that nigga like, yo.
No, the first time I heard Fonte was that first Foreign Exchange. So that came out, I think, because the Minstrel Show didn't come out till 2005. Then that first Foreign Exchange came out 2004.
Yep.
So, you know what I'm saying? So I heard all of that. Then I heard Chitlin Circuit, stuff that had some of the listening stuff. I didn't hear the listening until after the Minstrel Show came out in full. You know what I'm saying? I heard certain joints. I didn't hear it in full. You know what I'm saying? So, unfortunately.
All right. Ralph Tresvance in the building. What's going on, good brother?
What's good? What's good?
Eddie, what you got up next, bro?
Hold up. I got R&B joint.
My bad.
Yeah.
I got Dru Hill. I don't know if it was because I was in B more, but I don't think so, because I would go home from time to time and remember I heard "Sleeping in My Bed," and at first, you know, I'm a huge Jodeci fan, so I'm like, hold up, what is Jodeci? What is this? But I just remember that song was infectious. You know what I'm saying? It was getting played. It was heavy rotation. Then when you heard the other songs that they had, and I remember somebody, because I actually do remember them from the, what is it, the Fudgery or whatever?
Fudgery,
But I didn't know that in the beginning until somebody said it. But like Dru Hill was it for a minute. Like they kind of had a little bit of the Boyz II Men vibe with the Jodeci vibe. Till Cisco fucked it up with the Donna song, handstands and beat shit.
He was running on ladies. He was running on the ladies. It was amazing. Shout out Cisco.
Little people can do that. Little people can do that.
Nah, man. I remember. No, what's funny about the Dru Hill thing. I remember me and my friends doing the Tell Me dance and shit. You know what I'm saying? That was
right,
time.
but I thought it was a Baltimore thing too. I graduated from Morgan that year. And I'm like, oh, it's, you know, but like I said, I remember it from the Fudgery too. But I was like, I moved back to New York, and BLS, Kiss, kind of, they're all playing the same joint. I'm like, okay, now they're big.
Yeah, I was shocked. I was in Philly when I heard "Tell Me," and I called and was like, "Yo, these niggas from Baltimore?" Because at the time, like, nothing comes out of Baltimore. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's never been like big act. So when it was like, I'm like, damn, they like signed to Def Jam. Like, he was like, yeah, they, you know, like they from Baltimore. And then that's when everybody know him. Oh, yo, I went to school with Woody. Oh, yeah, me and Cisco used to be in Little League together. This is when everybody started knowing them, because when you don't have nobody from your city really pop, when somebody finally do pop, everybody, I mean, yo, by the end of that summer, every single person I knew from Baltimore was somehow related to them 4 niggas. Like, how 4 niggas have the whole entire city, East and West Side, related to them? It's amazing, but I'll live with it. I'll live with it. Eddie, what you got up next, bro?
Yo, man, I got all right, big pun, but specific song, man, because you know what I'm saying, you heard him with Fat Joe, and you know there was anticipation, man, but the joint that I felt like was must-see TV before his album dropped was that joint with the Beatnuts, yo, the Off the Books joint.
Off the Books. Yeah.
Off the Books was definitely like Beatnuts and Pun on that joint. Like, so you had the crazy production, Pun going crazy, you know what I'm saying, the Latino connection. Like, and you know, like, just me being, you know, Puerto Rican from Brooklyn, you know what I'm saying? Like, even though he's from the Bronx, but you know what I'm saying? Like, we definitely had that pride, like, hell yeah, you know what I'm saying? You're about to run the game. So, yeah, that joint was crazy.
I think I'm the only person in the world who did not like Off the Books.
You told me that. I remember you saying it to me. I'm like,
I really think I'm the only person in the world. Like, I thought the song was cool, but I was just like, now the funny thing is, Watch Out Now. I love Watch Out Now. And it literally follows the same exact drum pattern. I swear to you, they just literally took out one sample and put in another sample. I think it was just that little kitty. It was a Sesame Street sample. And I didn't like the sample. I mean, Pun killed it, but I think that was the piece I didn't like about it. Like, it just sounded like a little kid song. But now Watch Out Now is probably my favorite Beatnuts song. And it's literally the same exact drum production and everything. But again, everybody watch. I did not think it was whack. I just didn't love it. Like, everybody loved that song. You put that song on, the whole world's losing their mind, except for me. But again, the difference with me and the rest of Twitter is the rest of Twitter would be like, no, everybody felt that way. I know I was the minority in that shit. Like, I know I'm not gonna get on here and be like, no, like, everybody hated. That's how niggas be on Twitter. They be like, no, everybody hated I Love the Dough. And it's like, no, nigga, we did. Like, fuck what you talking about? We all hated it. No, you hated it. You hated it, fam?
I hated it.
You didn't like I Love the Dough? Wow. Okay, well, you and this other nigga on Twitter. It's the two of you.
I wasn't.
What were you about to say,
I wasn't crazy about it, but it grew on me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wanted Big and Jay to kind of come on something harder. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was the thing. It was a little bit too laid back for me. So,
so I guess I'm in the minority because I Love the Dough better than Brooklyn's Finest. Brooklyn Finest beat is not.
I Love It Though. Yeah, I hate Brooklyn Finest beat. Like I always say, if I played that beat, there's no way that beat makes that.
That beat is.
If I'm like, hey y'all, here's a beat for y'all, and I play that beat, I swear, I bet you every record I have that I don't make Reasonable Doubt. That shit made it because it was Clark Kent, and Clark made that shit. So, but I'm with you, bro. I never liked that beat. I never liked that beat.
Would you say, Cal?
Would you say, Cal?
I said I like the Brooklyn Finest. I like the Ohio Players sample, so I think probably I like the song, so maybe that's probably why I like that beat. But so
what you gonna say, Bag?
I was gonna say I could help you out with the Beatnuts thing. I'm not a Beatnuts fan. Wow. Never was.
Word. I mean, here's the thing, and I've learned to like put these things together based off of people. I don't know any MC. I don't know a lot of MCs. Most of the people who don't like the Beatnuts are MCs. Right. This is what I've kind of like learned through my time. Like the people who rap, a lot of MCs don't like the Beatnuts because they're not very lyrical. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, so I've kind of put those things together. It's the flip. Like most people who really love Eminem are MCs, and they're able to see what he's able to do with words that maybe the rest of us aren't. Same thing with me and Dilla. The average person has no idea what Dilla does for beats. So I know a lot of people that be like, Dilla's cool, but nigga, Mount Rushmore, like that nigga ain't top 20 to me. And I'm like, nigga, he's a fucking goat to me. But I get it because, you know, just different things like that. But everybody who says they don't like the Beatnuts are MCs. I've kind of seen that happen across the board like that. You know what I mean? Now, especially after Fashion left. Yeah.
I think as producers, they're super dope. But as MCs, they never connected with me back then. So
yeah, I feel you. Well, catch us up. What are some of the joints you got, man?
So hold on, I just want to be clear. The topic is. Explain the topic again.
Must see TV. Songs that you heard and you was like, yo, I gotta call my man about this. Or MCs you heard for the first time and you was like, you basically had to make a phone call. This shit was so dope, you had to tell somebody about it.
Cool. OC Time's Up. Yeah. I mean, when I first heard that, I was like, yo, this is the best shit I ever heard in my life. Like, I mean, just how that shit come on. And he's spitting crazy, like,
and that Slick Rick sample too. That Slick Rick sample was perfect.
And for that time, that's like perfect for that time. It's like one of them songs like I can't find no flaw in, bro. And like when I heard it, I'm like, yo, like I hit my like, yo, you gotta hear this. You gotta hit like I listen to that joint over and over and over again. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that really like. I was looking forward to more material from him after I heard that. Like he had a fan off the break, just off that one song. You know what I'm saying? Even though I like what's the other John? Born to Live.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the But Time's Up.
Who produced it?
Buck Wild.
Yeah.
I think that Born to Live, it bumped heads with Pete's Take You There, and Pete's Take You There was just bigger. So I think like they kind of like that almost like X'd him out or whatever like that. You know, that was the first time, Kel, that Roots had to school me because I'm like, that's the same song. He was like, nigga, come here, sit down, listen to these rock drums. Now go listen to them Buck Wild drums. And there wasn't no disrespect to Buck Wild, but that Pete song is just bigger than the Buck Wild joint. So yeah, but give us a couple of more, Ralph, since you just chiming in.
Okay. Daz Effects. They want effects. Like I heard that. Like me and my friends, our thing was memorizing that joint. Like that was like our like, you know what I'm saying, thing to do. Like memorize the cause I heard nothing like that before. Like there was like back then, you know, originality was a thing, you know what I'm saying? I like now. You know what I mean? So when you heard that, like you ain't never heard nothing like that before. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people follow suit with a lot of things from them that people don't like to admit. You know what I'm saying? People like to act like they like some one-hit wonder, some shit like that, or a gimmick, or I don't know, but that ain't the case. You know what I'm saying? But when I heard they want effects, like, you know what I mean? That was like, especially at the age I was at, like it was easy for me to like appeal to that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And memorize the whole song. Like that's one of the first songs that I like memorized word for word. You know what I mean? So
That's
with that job.
That's dope. All right, next up, I got some newer stuff. I got Kyle when he was on Chappelle's show and he did the food live. You know what I mean? Because this is after Electric Circus. I'm not getting into that debate, y'all. I thought the shit was trash. I tried multiple times. That album holds the record for as the most tries I've ever tried to give an album. Because at that time, Kyle was my favorite MC. Like right after One Day It'll All Make Sense. It did that. No. After like Water. Well, from One Day to like Water. Right. So this is my favorite MC. So when I hear that, I'm like, all right. Like I tried multiple times throughout the years because somebody's gonna tweet me like, "Well, Kill, you listen." I gave up on that shit 10 years ago. But I would go back like every year. This shit just wasn't for me. So I'm like, fuck Calm, he's done. I don't even want to hear that. And I'm watching Chappelle, and then the food came on. I was like, yo, this is crazy. And I mean, it was so crazy that they tried to do a studio version of it for B. And niggas was like, nah, y'all, you gotta put the live version on. Like the studio version held nothing to that live energy and yay and everything like that. So that was crazy. Conway's Rejects too. Like, yo, when I first heard that, I was like, yo, this shit is crazy. I was telling everybody, like, yo, y'all gotta tap into this nigga. Like, first time I seen Conway, niggas was telling me about Conway on Twitter for a while, and I was just like, whatever. I keep hearing, you know how it be. Like, babe, like you said, you just always hearing about the next one. You like, yeah, whatever. But I seen them niggas on like the BT Cypher. Some days like with Eminem and like a car garage, and it was black and white. And I just kept saying, yo, what the fuck is wrong with dude's face? Like, that's really what got me at first was his face. And then I heard Rejects too. I was like, oh nah, this nigga is it. Cool G Raps, Men at Work. Yo. We are in my man Cool DJ Frank's basement. Nah, I think we in my man Scoob's basement. We just listening to G Raps album for the first time. And I just never heard just an MC like that nigga went for like 65 bars. Like this nigga just didn't stop rhyming. And it was just like, yo, when is this nigga gonna stop? And then it would just be the Men at Work. And then he came right back in. It was just like, yo, this is crazy. On the R&B side, I got Shy's If I Ever Fall in Love. Kelvin, if you remember freshman year.
That's on my list.
Like that shit just came out of nowhere. I swear to God, we was just everybody was staying on campus, and I think God played the song through the air. Like I don't even know if it was somebody's window or a car. I swear to God, we were all just staying on campus, and we just hear this song. And we like, who is this? Is Boyz II Men? Is who is this? And it was just like, oh, it's Shy. They go to Howard, and it was like, oh shit, like Shy's If I Ever Fall in Love. That song will always take me back to freshman year.
What's crazy about that is how an a cappella song could blow up so much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, we and again, I don't know where it came from, but I think it just came from God because it was everywhere. Like everybody was playing that song, and it was like, who is this? Everybody
was trying to sing it.
Yeah, everybody was trying to sing it too. That's the other bad part about it. Another one, Math Ray Gazanu's BK Accent. I don't know if people haven't heard this joint. It's the first time I heard of Math, and it's him and Sky Zoo, and it's this joint, and I heard it, and I was like, yo, this shit is crazy. I was telling everybody about it. I was hitting niggas up, like, yo, this nigga Math Ray Guzanu is crazy. Like, who is he? Woo, woo, woo. Somehow, I think my man Slayer or Salim somehow connected me with him on Twitter, and then we ended up doing Dice Game, and now it's like my man. You know what I mean? That's my guy. He's out in Virginia now. But, like, yeah, that was a more recent joint that I saw, and I was like, yo, this BK Accent shit is fucking crazy. It's just crazy because we went to, you know, go on and make a joint together. So that's another joint. Kel, what you got up left?
I got J. Rule. I think we talked about J. Rule, but I'm thinking about I'm the Man of the Daily Operation.
Right. That bass line? First of all, that may have been the first time that the beat changed for each MC.
Each MC, right? Yeah, from them to group.
That could be the first time that premiered that was done. Period. But when that bass line came in, that do 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 do, I was like, yo, And then the way Guru like introduced them, like now from Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, we got my man. I was like, Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, like what the fuck? Like it was like you on the edge of your seat, like what the. I'll tap your jaw. You never heard it before. I was like, oh my god, this nigga is nasty. So yeah.
And then my R&B joint, I got you said Shy, so I can pick it back up that. We could talk all day about that. That's like you said, that was just ringing everywhere. Everywhere. It's crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy. Fam, what you got up left?
Hey, for my listen, from my Tough Guys Used to Dance playlist.
Niggas who robbed the party used to dance playlist.
Right, like hold on, I can't bust this move because my pistol might drop and we on base. Nigga, Poison, BBD, come on. It like that moment might not have been over. Like it still might be. It like it's still playing somewhere.
It's still a moment. It's still a moment.
Yo, I don't think that song has lost any traction in 30 years. Like I don't think it's lost an inch of traction. I mean, it was not just then, but Think Like a Man too. Like that shit was like I literally think it hasn't lost anything.
I don't know who Spider-Man and Freeze is, and I don't know why they was in full effect. But if you play that first second of that record, everybody, they mama, they kaka, auntie, everybody knows that goddamn song. So, but for my hip hop joint, Vegas mentioned like my favorite rapper, specifically earlier, Fonte. On Whatever You Say, when he didn't rhyme, I called everybody. I said, yo, I just heard a rapper rap, but he wasn't rapping. No rhymes in the rap. Niggas was
and like, what song is this on?
Whatever You Say. Yeah, it doesn't rhyme. Start listening.
All right.
Yeah, but like he wrote a whole rhyme that was hard, but didn't rhyme. The whole verse didn't rhyme.
At the end of it, he's like,
I got the head nod.
You want to exploit me when I got a cash advance and some personal time, but fuck that. I made your head still bob, but my verse didn't rhyme.
All right, I gotta tap in on that shit.
I'm surprised you didn't hear that.
I was like, cuz, yo, this nigga is... I never heard that. He was rapping.
I think I heard the listener one time. Like, the listening got one run with me, and I was like, it's cool, but all the Next Tribe and all of that, that's why I really try not to hype shit up too much, because, like, I'm sure the listener is an incredible album, but it was just like, if you tell me somebody the Next Tribe, then nigga, you better be coming with something that's just as dope as Low End. You know what I mean? And I don't think it's that. I'm not saying it's bad, but it was just like all of that. Just I listened to that. I don't think I listened to that shit twice. It was like
you listened to it like it? You was like.
Now, here's the thing with Poison that I want to touch on that people may not understand. BBD to me is the first group in the history of the music industry where them other niggas were bigger than those niggas. You know what I mean? Because no other time in life have you ever had them other niggas like the Pips be bigger than Gladys, or like the fucking, you know, them niggas, and y'all know what I'm talking about. Them niggas over there who you don't know what the fuck they do are bigger than the solo niggas. But that BBD thing, that was a movement from Do Me to Dope to fucking I Thought It Was Me to When Will I See You Smile Again. Them niggas, they hold that ship. They are the chip of what? Who else? Who you about to say?
I don't. You thought BBD was big? Like Poison is one of those.
I thought BBD was bigger than Ralph and Bob. I mean Ralph and Johnny. Now I don't think they were bigger. They weren't at the same time as Bobby. You know what I mean? Because that was the Any Heartbreak. So Any Heartbreak was kind of like going at it with Bobby at his height. I don't think BBD was bigger than Bobby at his height, but they definitely were bigger than Ralph and Johnny.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So that's like kind of saying Michelle and Kelly were bigger than Beyonce. Like, I want people who are younger to understand what I'm trying to say about BBD, and that they have songs and that Poison is it. I mean, Busta just used it on his not last album, but the album before that. But yeah, Poison was a problem.
Let's not talk about that.
No, not the last Busta album, the one before that.
I want to talk about that.
You ain't like that album?
So I'm talking about the last. No.
Oh yeah,
I just let's not talk about Black.
Forget about that. Okay. Vay, what you got on? It never happened? All right. I believe every MC should have that Men in Black moment. I gave that to Common for Electric Circus. Then he came back with the Universal Mind Control, and I'm like, nigga, I done used that shit already. Like, you did it again, nigga. I can't forget two. I can forget one. I can't forget two.
But he followed it with a classic, though. He followed it with a classic.
B.
With B. You're talking about with B, right? Yeah, he is. Yes. But I'm saying I already gave you the Men in Black moment. I can't give it to you twice.
But he made it up to you.
He did, but I can't take it back. Nigga, I used the Big Joker. I can't take that shit back up off the table. It was used. Nigga, stop making whack albums. That Universal Mind Control, man. Now you done did it again.
That was so.
Yeah,
that Universal Mind Control might have been worse than Electric Circus.
I think you're right. I think
it was. It was.
Yeah,
it was. I don't. Again, man. Too many
the
women.
The crazy part was he had like two of his biggest singles from those albums, though, right?
What, the Universal?
Because "Come Close" was
Closer.
Electric.
That was one of his biggest singles. I would have thought "The Light" and "Go" was his biggest singles.
That was not.
Come Close.
No.
Commercially, I think it was. Come Close was big.
Big.
Go, yeah.
Oh, that goddamn deaf woman in the fucking windowsill. I hate that song so much. I hate the video.
Oh, it's terrible. The video's terrible.
I hate that video.
That video is weird, bro. Like, you know what that joint remind me of? The Lionel Richie joint with the blind joint.
Hello. You talking about hello?
Yeah.
It's really stalkerish. Like, this shorty is blind, my nigga, and you following her everywhere, my nigga. Like, yo, leave her alone. Like, fuck is wrong with you? Like,
yo, she picked up the phone. This nigga ain't say nothing, and this was like, hello. I'm like, dog, that is crazy. That's crazy.
Yo, the shit niggas got away with in the 80s, man. You couldn't do that shit in 2024, man. Somebody, the teacher would have been like, yo, who is this nigga with this Jerry curl who keep coming out here like after class every day? Like, nigga, like security, fucking security, come get this nigga. Come get this nigga. Like in '84, that was cool. You just slide through with your Jerry curl and just be peeping at him.
Ludicrous looking sculpture.
Yeah, she did the whole ghost thing. She did the ghost thing. That making that shit. Yeah, that's a good point, bro.
But going back to "Come Close," man, I think the video really ruined the song, man, because it was a dope Mary J feature too, man. Like, it's a solid joint. It's just you can't get that video out your head.
I just couldn't fuck with it, man, because I'm like 3000. You only funky as your last cut, and if the last time I heard you, well, fuck. The last time I heard Khan was the remix to "Ghetto Heaven" when he had on that fucking cut-off sweater. So that's a bad example too. All right, forget whatever I was just about to say.
Hey, listen, what the drug that he was on at that particular time.
You know, Medusa. I mean, he was under her spell, so that's why I gave him a pass. Like, nigga, you're Medusa. You're under the spell. I can't hold it against. She was like, you know, that time when Wolverine got like fucked up in the head, and he like killed all the X-Men and everything. Like, you know, you was fucked up. Like, I get it, but Universal Mind Control, we passed Erica now. Like, you was banging Serena or Venus or whoever you was with. So, no. Or Taraji. Like, you was with a normal chick now. So, there's no excuse for Universal Mind Control.
Well, no, he's right. I wonder if Jennifer Hudson gonna do something bad to him, because isn't he working with the joint with Pete now? Him and Pete Rock working on that album?
I don't know. But I actually am intrigued. I'm intrigued because I said if they were working together, I'm intrigued. And they're not sending verses back and forth. So it seemed like he really was like in the studio with Pete the whole time. So I am intrigued for this Common Pete album. Also depending on who he's banging right now at the time, because he's not with Tiffany Haddish anymore, right? Because she's bad luck. That's just
it's Jennifer Hudson. Yeah, he doing up.
You think of Jennifer Hudson?
Yeah, this nigga's track record is crazy. He's putting up numbers.
I don't know if they're good numbers though. He's putting up numbers, but I don't know if they're necessarily positive numbers. Like, you can put up numbers in crunch time, and you can put up numbers when it's trash time. And I think Common's more of the trash time.
No, he was like,
I'm not fronting on Jennifer Hudson, but yo, we ain't gonna say and act like Jay Hudson. Like, niggas is like, yo, Jay Hudson. Like, yo, I ain't give a fuck about.
So you saying he put up empty stacks?
God, that's at least
He really put up.
that's 15
He really is. Outside of Taraji, who else is common with that's like niggas is like
Serena before surgery.
So he's Dak Prescott. What you saying?
Whoa! Come on, let's I know you did that on purpose. I understand it.
My bad. Fam, my bad.
Oh God! That's a good one.
J Hud at least.
That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one.
J Hud is.
Oh God. Okay, Bang. What you got up left, bro?
All right, I got Stove God Cooks. I remember when on this podcast, you know, you was trying to sell me on him, and I was like, yo, I don't want to hear about no nigga talking about a stove 24/7. Like, who is this nigga? Like, I just didn't want to hear it because, you know, I was, even though on Strictly Hip Hop First, you know, we was playing Conway before he got shot. Look it up. He was nice then. But I remember like when Griselda came out, and remember I was like, yo, all that gun noises and shit, nobody getting shot by that shit. Shut up. And you know, obviously I like it because I like boom bap beats. So I know with Stove God, it was like it was just around me. Like I would go on Twitter, you know, I would look other places to just see this album, and I'm like, all right, Kill said it's hot, everybody says it's hot, I need to listen. And when I heard the what is it, Rolls Royce brake lights,
Rolls Royce brake lights, man,
just the way it starts, because you don't know what's going to happen when the beat drops, and as soon as the beat dropped, you started rhyming. I was like, okay, I see why niggas like this shit. And like the whole album, and I would just remember that's all people talked about. Everybody was excited about it. Other rappers were. And you know, here's another one, y'all. I don't care. I'm not the biggest Rock Marciano fan. You know, I'm not. But his production.
A lot of MCs are not big Rock Marciano fans.
I can't deal with the like, you know, put the bottle in the back, put the bottle in the front. Nigga, what are you saying? Like, you're not saying nothing. You just fucking talking, and it's supposed to be magic. You know what I'm saying? Oh, not that that's all he does, because he
oh my God, man, this is comedy relief.
Nice back in the day when he was with Flip Mode. I was like, yo, he nice. Now I think he kind of, you know, believes his own hype. So it's not, the bars aren't as potent as I would like. But Stove God is different, because that dude is a unique style with bars, and he's starting to get into that Pusha T lane, right? Where it's like, how much coke rap you gonna hear? Sometimes he say some dumb shit, but some, like, you know, my stove in the sky, like, damn, this nigga, he must walk past a stove in a fucking Home Depot, like, hold up. Stove, right? Like, nigga, relax. But I just remember at that time, it just felt like it was inescapable, and I'm probably the only nigga like, damn, where the new shit, like a crackhead. But I don't know if he still has that energy, but I know at that time with that album,
yeah,
everybody was paying attention to him.
Yeah, Kill sold me on that album because I ain't listened to it.
Sold me on that album.
Kill started reciting some of the bar. It was on the show, and I was like, okay. I said, let me listen to this joint, and that Cocaine Cologne, that song at my job, yo. Everybody, I had my whole staff singing, still smelling like a brick right now. Like the whole staff, yo, like old people, everybody, like singing that joint, man. So yeah, Kill sold me on that album, bro.
Yo, I gotta salute my man Joe Reekin from Twitter. It's my guy from Chicago. He hit me like, yo, you gotta listen to this. I said, nigga, do you see this album cover? This shit may be the worst looking album cover I've ever seen in my fucking life. He was like, yeah, but your man Rock Marcy did. I was like, I don't give a fuck who did it. And the nigga's name is what? Stove God Cooks? Nah, nigga, I'm good. He's like, Kill, trust me. I was like, all right, nigga. So, you know what I mean? Now I tell Regan all the time, nigga, anything he sent my way, I'll listen to, nigga, because obviously you got it. But yeah, that nigga's good. I don't know when we get another Stove God album, so I don't know I've heard he's kind of mixed up in the management thing, and Westside and Rock is like beefing over who label he's on and all of that hoopla, because that had to be 4 years ago. Yeah, I mean at least 3-4 years ago. So it's been a minute. You know what I mean?
I think it's this year.
Okay.
Because they starting to release some singles now. Like remember before it was all features,
right?
But now they're starting to release singles here and there. So I think eventually we'll get something this year. The first single was man, but this last one was kind of hot.
No, I ain't even heard nothing new. Last thing I heard vague was that if these kitchen walls could talk, John, that leaked.
Yeah, that was cool, but he has another one called Badu. I think that's what it's called. Badu.
Okay.
Yeah, that one's hot.
All right, I gotta tap into that.
The other one I had, or the last one I had, was Big Daddy Kane, man. I remember when Big Daddy Kane was like it, and every single off that first album, and then in between albums, him being featured on shit and doing the Lean On Me joint. Then It's a Big Daddy thing. Like Big Daddy Kane was it for a minute, and you know, being from Brooklyn, like I just remember, like I was just looking forward to that joint. I remember like back in the days, because a lot of times, like we said with the radio, not a lot of radio stations play hip hop during the day, so you got to catch music at night and try to record it so you can hear it more than once. Album wasn't out yet, but I just remember like videos was kind of my thing, and I would be so thirsty to see the gray suit with him with his hand on his hips zooming in. You were like, oh, ain't no half stepping coming on. So yeah, like we used to do that. Like, well, when I say we, I'm talking about like, you know, my cousin Will and Nas and all of them. Like we used to just be thirsting for new Big Daddy Kane all the time or whatever. And I was just, you know, I'm extra hyped because these Queensbridge niggas. So I'm like, yeah, Brooklyn nigga, white. I ain't got no nigga like this. But the niggas didn't care. I was living. But I mean, people don't understand, Kill. And I guess we got to constantly reiterate about these artists and these moments. But as much as people like to look at Prince of Darkness and Taste of Chocolate, which isn't that bad when you go back and listen, because there's a lot of heat on Taste of Chocolate that I forgot was on it, and I was like, oh, maybe this album wasn't as bad as I thought. But people seem to zoom in on those two albums and forget like Big Daddy Kane was everything, you know what I'm saying, at one point in time. And not just like we said with Grand Puba, not just with the music, but also with his fade, you know, the 3 cuts in the eyebrows, trying to wild out, all of that. So
4-finger ring.
4-finger ring.
I mean, I think the thing too is with Kane, to me, that's not even a moment in time. Like, moment in time to me is like, for a moment in time, the Fat Boys were maybe bigger than Run DMC for like 30 seconds. Like, Kane had a movement. Like, I think when we did 88 and 89, like Kane was the top MC both of those years. Like, that's not a moment in time. Like, nah, Kane was the motherfucking man. Like, Kane was Rakim and Kane, or Kane and Rakim. Like, you know, like it was like Biggie and Nas, or Nas and Biggie. Like, you know what I mean? So I think he didn't have the long run, but again, I think that's just based off of like what your goals are. You know, I think Kane was an older dude, so I would hear stories about Kane riding around Brooklyn in a Volvo listening to the fucking OJs and the Whisperers. Like, that nigga wasn't listening to hip hop like that. You know what I mean? So when that nigga got an opportunity to go be on Quincy Jones Back on the Block, or go be with Patti LaBelle, like, and niggas like, yo, these my heroes. You know what I mean? So, but once you start going that route, you know what I mean? And then on top of that, like, then tempo started to slow down. Kane was 110, 112 BPMs. By the time you got to the 90s, it's like, nigga, slow the fuck down, you know? And that really wasn't Kane's lane anymore, you know? So not only is he focusing on doing these R&B features and shit like that, but now the game is changing, and that riggedy rapidy flow really ain't doing it no more. You know what I mean? And I think I saw something with Kane on Instagram. He was on some story and he was talking about how like he was blaming the producers, but he was like, really, it was on me. Like, my style hadn't changed, and I didn't evolve to become, you know, everything like that. So I mean, I think that's really all it was with Kane, was that like he just, like, with Rakim could always do the slow flow. Rakim could give you the ghetto. I don't think Big Daddy Kane, I'll be intrigued to see what Big Daddy Kane would have done over the Ghetto, like that joint, like that Rakim had, because that's one of my favorite Rakim songs ever. You know what I mean? But I'd be intrigued to see what Kane could do at that tempo. I'd be intrigued to see what Kane would have done over Microphone Fiend, because again, Kane shit is, you know, warm him up, Kane. Like, let's go. Like, Kane is like a workout. Like, Kane is burning calories in the gym. Like, you know what I mean? So maybe that's why Rakim was able to slide right into the 90s with no problem, because he already had my melody. Like, Rakim really was no super fast 120 BPMs MC. What are you going to say, babe?
I was going to say, well, I think for him, the slowdown was like Smooth Operator, because he rapped fast on there. But a prime example of what you're saying is the Juice soundtrack, right? There's no delay, and then there's what Enough Respect. And soon as I heard Big Daddy came with it, back, I was like, nah, turn that shit off. Like,
no, the last though,
right.
Like, yo, no, like we not doing that no more. Like, you know, it's wordplay, but slow down. And he kind of did.
Big L.
He was on Big L's album, and when he had that song, I think it was with Primo. It was an unreleased song he had where Kane had a more flow similar to what you were saying. I forget what it's called. I think I have it. But he, you know, I was just thinking like, shit, if he do that more, he can come back out, you know, because it sounds good.
And the joint with Little Brother's not bad too, either, right? The one with Little Brother.
Welcome to Durham.
Welcome to Durham, right?
I think the hard part with Kane is with hip hop. One thing about hip hop fans, we hard. And once the stuff that Kane was doing, it was hard to come back. Like, you naked in this Madonna book and you doing all this wild shit. So it's kind of also hard to come back from that. Like, it's not just you fell off, but then you was doing some wild shit too while you was falling off too. You know what I mean? So it definitely would have been harder. But yeah, it's I think it's that simple thing, because I'm thinking like Microphone Fiend, like but Smooth Operator is a good one. But like that would kind of be like almost like an asterisk, because that was not Kane's usually BPM or whatever like that. He definitely wanted to, you know, he was on his dance joint. Like Warm It Up Kane, whatever BPM that is, that was like Kane's minimum of a tempo. But like Set It Off, it's like, yeah, Rapid Kane. Like Kane is like, yo, 105 beats per minute, let's go. Eddie, what you got up left, bro?
All right, man. I can empty my clip on this one, so I got a couple. So first one I'm gonna start with is mad skills, yo. Like his wrap ups that used to be must see TV, and at some point it just, I don't know, we just got disinterested. It got corny. Like he lost his inspiration. And
did Uncle Murder jack him for that shit?
Uncle Murder jacked him, yeah. And you know, but even before then, I would say this: once Uncle Murder started putting out his, I feel like there was a lot of people who didn't care, because it felt like Skills, the quality of Skills wrap-ups were kind of on the decline. But there was a point in time that it was, dude, like, well, it dropped every New Year's, right?
Right.
It's like every New Year's, so it was like, yo, Skills is about to drop, yo, like let's talk about it. So that's one. Another one I got is Sean Price, man. Like when he went from, you know, Ruck to Sean Price, and like that whole thing, man. Like his rhyming style, his sense of humor, like the promos he was doing with Duck Down, man. That alone was like must see TV, yo. Like just hilarious. He's a mad funny dude, yo. He's a real funny dude. One thing, another one I got is rap beefs in general used to be must see TV. Now it's like, you know, there was a time, yo, like who beefing? Oh man, they throwing shots at each other, like either subliminals or full songs. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like we got real battles. Now it's like, who cares?
Now it's rapping in front of a garbage can and shit, like that shit fly. Fuck that.
The last one I got is anytime that Nas linked up with DJ Premier, must see TV. Anytime. Like, so self-explanatory right there, man. They just made magic.
Yeah, Nas, Big, and Jay. Like every time I saw a premiere on one of their albums, I was like, I know that's the one right there. It always was.
Right.
I miss that, man. I miss when Primo was the go-to street nigga. You know, it was, you know, and then I felt like it became Just Blaze after a while. You know, then Just kind of took that spot, and it was like, all right, we gotta get it Just. Like that shit, Fat Joe, I didn't like that album, but that shit with the Incredible on it was like Just Blaze. That shit was crazy, you know. So yeah, I felt like Kanye became the new Pete and Just became the new Premier. And it kind of like, you know, kind of not pushed them out the way because Pete is still here, but kind of in some sense. Bro, what else did you have on your list, bro?
All right, I'm gonna just say all of them. I got Clones, some Roots, like when that dropped. Cause like niggas that went from Philly, even niggas that was from Philly, was like, I'm not listening to that herbal acoustic bullshit y'all put. Like they was clown, and then when Clones came out, it's like, yeah, this is.
Especially if the last time you heard of the Roots was Silent Treatment.
Silent Treatment. Yeah.
Next time you hear Clones, you like, yo, who the fuck is this? My nigga Cirque hit me because I wasn't a fan of Do You Want More. It's like People's Instinctives. I thought it was a good album, but I wasn't a fan. My man Cirque was like, yo, you gonna fuck with this. Man, Black Thought changed the name to the Bad Lieutenant. These niggas on some old boom bap shit. And I was like, word, okay, we'll see. And then Clones came. I was like, oh, okay. Like, yep. You know what I mean? I feel you.
Yeah. I got Clones. I got, I remember Crew Love. And I heard Beans on there.
Yep.
And he started doing the Monopoly scheme, and I just remember like going crazy, like just running that shit back heavy. And that's when, like, you know, like Beans on features, he was like low key washing people, bro. Like even like Hove, like I feel like he was getting Hove on his own.
He
song.
got Hove on a couple of joints. On this song, he definitely got Hove.
Yeah, so that was in his, you know what I mean? What I got? Oh, Grinding. When I first heard Grinding, and you know, everybody, the beat, of course, you know, Lunch Table classic, you know what I mean? But the lyrics of that, like, was kind of some shit I ain't never heard before either, like that, like in depth, like just talking like drug talk like that, you know what I'm saying?
And people forget how nasty Malice is. People forget.
Yeah.
I thought he was better for the longest time.
There's a lot of people that did. There's a lot of people that did.
Malice was nasty, man.
Yeah. I got, when I first heard Shook Ones.
The first one or the second one?
Second one. The one. The one.
The one.
Yeah. And you know, we're not gonna go into depth with my Mobb Deep
and your
life.
We don't want to, bro. We don't want to.
Yeah, we done already been there. We're not gonna do that, but let's just say, you know, Mobb Deep had a heavy influence on me coming up. And I got two more. I got Exhibit C. When I heard
that's a good ball. That's a dope ball.
Heard Exhibit C, I was like, yo, who is this guy? Like, who is this guy? And when is the album?
When's the album coming?
Like, yeah, right. When's the album, bro? Like,
I'm gonna be honest, we still ain't got it.
Nope.
True.
Nope. We got a Jay-Z album featuring him. But
right. Yeah.
But when you heard Exhibit C, you like that. It's no, like, that song is so good. People was waiting like 10 years for this dude to put an album, like, and was like kind of cool, like kind of giving them the grace. You know what I'm saying? Like giving them grace.
That shit came out in December 2009.
Oh, word?
That's December 2000. That's how I fucking remember the month and it. Like, I don't remember the date, but it was December 2009. Nigga, it's 2024, and I know niggas still waiting for a Jay Electronica album.
Yep. And when he started mentioning like certain blocks in Philly, I was like, hold on.
Yep.
What is this dude from? I know he's from New Orleans, so I'm like, so he had me right there. You know what I mean? And
now the thing.
Oh, my fault. Go ahead.
No. I'm a piggyback with you. The thing with that Exhibit C is like, because I remember hearing Jay Electronica, like he had that, but the Eternal Sunshine joint, like and stuff, and it was dope, but it wasn't hitting like Exhibit C because, you know, it just didn't have that same impact as Exhibit C.
It's like a perfect song, bro. Like it's like perfect, bro. Like beat, lyrics, everything, like perfect. My last one's an R&B joint, and it's like one of my favorite R&B songs, and I don't know, Case Missing You. When I first heard that, I was like, yo, this is classic, bro. Like,
good record.
That was a fire record. I heard it when I was in college, like the first time, and that was my shit. So that's mine.
Last joints I got Simon Says Foul March. I just played it on 889. Niggas hadn't even heard it at the station. I was like, just listen to this shit. And niggas lost their shit, and that was just that. Alcoholics 21 and over, the whole album. It was the Greek Picnic in maybe like 93, 94. I had the promo. I was like, let's pop this in and see what it's hitting for. Nigga, we ain't never take that tape out the whole fucking Greek weekend. And trust me, that was not the plan to play the Alcoholics all weekend, but the album was just so dope that it was just like, yo, we ain't taking this shit out. The Scenario remix, heard it in my man Cool DJ Frank's basement. The whole Busta Rhymes in the beginning, like who the fuck is Hood? What are you talking about? Them C's and the spiritual, like this is still 93. Niggas ain't on that, you know how niggas be saying happy birthday now. I don't even know when niggas be saying happy birthday. They be like, oh, happy eternal sunrise and happy everlasting Earth Day. I was like, yo, what the fuck is that? Like, nigga, I was good with happy born day. Now we on some old next level scientifical, you know, happy eternal resting place. I'm like, the nigga die, use your birthday, but so when he's like 5 MCs in the spiritual form, 1 in the essence, I'm like, the essence, nigga, like, yo, all right. So, and then when Hood came in, that was crazy. Elzai's Elmatic, because when I heard about the concept, I was like, yo, this is whack as fuck, nigga. You gonna remake Elmatic? Like, nigga, you stupid. Then heard it, and I was like, yo, this shit is dope. Then it was like trying to tell other niggas it was dope. Bezo ain't listened for years. Like, I'd be like, yo, man, this shit is dope. He's like, nah, fuck that, I ain't listening to it. Like, I know a lot of people like, nah, I'm not listening to. Like, yo, that's sacrilegious. Like, what the fuck? And then Bezo, you know, eventually came over. The last one on my R&B joint is this joint right here, PJ Morton's Gumbo. I heard this. This is the first album I've ever listened to that I can remember. I don't think I've ever done this before. I listened to this album once and wrote a review of it and gave it 5 mics. Like, normally I gotta listen to an album. I listened to this shit one time and literally wrote a whole review for it and gave it 5 mics. And then he was on the podcast like 2 weeks later, which is a dope episode. Me and JR interview, but definitely that. So that's it, y'all. Must see TV. That's what we talking about. Shit, when you gotta call somebody, pick up the phone and say, yo, have you heard? Have you seen? Stop trying to tell me the men's basketball has that anymore. It doesn't. You know what I mean? Men's basketball is just a whole bunch of 3 mic good players playing basketball. And there's nothing wrong with that. But at the same token, you do need some type of excitement, because this is what's fucking up the NBA. Because now you just, who the fuck is going first? Who's going second? Like, I was looking at some draft boards and it's all niggas from either the G League or like overseas for like the first 7 picks. Like, that tells you something right there. If niggas is going to the league from the G League before college basketball, nigga, that tells you that we aren't getting what we used to get out of this shit anymore. You know what I mean? So, and I don't know, maybe that's another show. Like, I don't know what's wrong with, why don't we have players? I didn't start watching college basketball till 98 when the lockout season. What I mean by watching is, I mean like I'm a fan. Of course I watched Allen Iverson play or Steph play or the Fab Five and all that. But even when I didn't watch college basketball, I knew who the Fab Five was. You know, I knew who Christian Laettner or Bobby Hurley was. I knew who Jamal Mashburn was. I knew who Jacques Vaughn was at Kansas, and that nigga ain't even a household name. Dog, it's niggas who watch college basketball and can't name 5 basketball players right now. Like, I don't know what's going on in the world. I don't know what happened, but y'all gotta fix this shit. ABCD, Nike, somebody, coaches, whoever, because this shit ain't it no more. and there's no hype around the draft at all. March Madness was a holiday for me. My boss already knew first Thursday, Friday, I'm off. I don't even have to put it on. My boss already knew that. You know what I mean? When it was the NBA draft, nigga, I'm taking the day off. Like, these shits used to be events. Dog, I'll never forget one year they had North Carolina and Duke on every ESPN channel from a different viewpoint. Like, literally, you could watch it on ESPN1, and it was from this point. ESPN2, it was from the overhead. These niggas shut down 7 ESPN channels for one game. Don't nobody give a fuck about North Carolina and Duke anymore, unless people who are fans of North Carolina and Duke. Those are the only motherfuckers who care about that game anymore.
Is it because Coach K gone? Does that take away from that situation? Because Coach,
they will lose.
I think some of it does, because I think the coach. To me, I love college basketball for the coaches. So like when most people love the players. So when I was a UConn fan, I was a Jim Calhoun fan. When Calhoun left, it felt different. You know what I mean? Same thing. I didn't even know fucking my man ain't up in Syracuse no more. I didn't even realize Jim Bohannon retired.
This is his first year.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that. They playing and he in the stands. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Like, you know what I mean? So
they made him leave.
Oh, they made him leave?
They made him leave. Yeah, they're like, you gotta go.
Oh, damn.
A lot of the personalities, the coaches is not there anymore. Yeah. You had the coaches that was in the Big East, the John Thompson, the Rolly Massiminos.
And you see, Georgetown ain't been the same since. Ain't been the same since.
It seems like is Boeheim still at Syracuse?
Nah, he's gone. He's gone. And I mean, even when they tore down the Big East, that did it for me. When they put UConn in the AAC, and now you got Syracuse in the ACC, and you got Maryland in the Big Ten, like that still don't sit right for me.
That was the one. That when they did that, I was like, I'm gone. Because I remember the Kerry Kittles, Iverson, Ray Allen days.
Those are good days. Those are good days.
Dog, I mean, the Juan Dixon, Jay Williams, Maryland Duke games to me was just as good, if not better, than the North Carolina Duke game.
I remember watching the Big East tournament with my dad. Like, not even like the NCAA made
the Big East tournament. Dog, that time when Kimba, when they ran the Kimba National. When Kimbo had to win 5 games straight, and hit him with the step back just to get to the tournament, then ended up winning the whole chip. You know, so again, that excitement is gone. I don't know how we get it back. I don't know what it is. There ain't no players out in New York no more. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like when you look around the league and there ain't a point guard from New York ain't in the league, like they're just little telltale signs of like. Something is wrong. Like there's something wrong that there's not a point guard out in New York City right now. That's not. Me and Kel was just talking about the year where Omar Cook, Talik Brown, and fucking Andre Barrett all went to Big East schools, all out in New York. Like, man, Andre Barrett when he was at Seton Hall, and Omar when he was at St. John's, and Talik at UConn. Like, we don't got that no more. You know, but again, salute to the women's game, because I'm definitely tuning into the women's tournament. South Carolina, Juju Watkins. Yo, Shorty can ball, Caitlin Clark. You know, like these shorties is balling, and they're must-see TV. Some of these shots Caitlin Clark is hitting is Steph Curry-ish like this. Shorty came up looking like court and just threw up a 3, and it's like, yo, so there is that must-see TV. So I will salute the women for that. Rel, where can they get at you? What you cooking up, good brother?
Uptown Rel 215 on the gram, JBen 215 on Twitter. Cooking up the new album. It's Not You, It's Me. Produced by Kill, executive produced by Kill, my man JR. Just started working on it this week, so yeah, be on the lookout for that. Real soulful stuff, man. Real soulful.
JR,
JR taking his job very serious. This nigga be taking notes.
Yes, indeed. No songs is coming out until they go through them two, and then they get the okay. So.
Eddie, what you got cooking up over your way, man?
Oh, man. Not too much, man. I'm just, you know what I'm saying, just trying to enjoy life, you know what I'm saying? Like, work going smooth, man. But you could definitely catch me on Twitter. You know, I'm still calling that shit Twitter, man.
Wow. That's my bad.
At Eddie D80 on Twitter, on Instagram at Freestyles. And, yeah.
All right. Babe, what you got cooking up, man?
You can follow me on social media at Vegas World INC. And check out my podcast, which is a weekly news and perspectives podcast called Hip Hop Now. Also, this week, when this releases, I'll have another episode with Tony from IntoTheDome.com, and we'll be talking about Wu-Tang Forever on a podcast called That Time in Hip Hop. So if you follow me, you'll be able to click on the link and see what's what.
All right, no doubt. Fam, what's going on, bro? Black Wrestling.
Yo, IllFan79 on all social media. At Black Wrestling on all social media. Listen, it's that time of year where, you know, even the niggas who used to watch wrestling come back. It's WrestleMania season. I'm gonna be in Philly a couple times with some offensive stars on my shoulders. And I will see niggas next week. But man, at Black Wrestling on all social media. I just said that.
Next week, Rel isn't available, but me and Gage are going up to Philly with the Black Wrestling crew to take them to two of my favorite spots in South Philly, get them right with some cheesesteaks, talk some Philly talk some cheesesteak talk some wrestling talk. It's gonna be definitely a dope collab.
Angelo's?
Angelo's and John's. Yeah.
Sheesh. Man,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna feed them good, man. Y'all gonna go home right. You know what I mean? Kel, where can they get at you, bro?
Kelvin Davidson on Twitter and at Big Kel.
All right, no doubt. Two things real quick. Number one, we got the Kill Third Verse Challenge out there. I posted the beat. It's up there. Find it. Just go to my media page. It's 2 links. You can download it from SoundCloud or Bandcamp. 3 verses. I don't care how you get the 3 verses. It can be one long 48. It could be 3 16s. It could be a 22 and a 16, 16 and 22. The moral is it needs to be 48 bars. And it needs to be a story. Again, like I told boys, this is not a competition. I understand a lot of y'all niggas are not built to take an L. This is not, we gonna get 30, you know, all the things in, and the Department 5B crew gonna pick a winner. There is no winner. This is a scrimmage. This is just to show your skills. This is just, maybe there's an MC out there who's like, yo, I really ain't dope at a third verse. This is a way that you can push yourself to do a third verse. Maybe there's an MC who's like, yo, I'm not a good storyteller. It's just a way to do that. I literally have at least 500 MCs following me, bare minimum, if not more. So there should definitely be a lot of people. I gotta salute my man. I don't know his name offhand. Let me see if I can find it real quick. He came back quick. I posted a challenge on Wednesday. That nigga tagged me today. Like, here's my song, nigga. Like, straight off the bat. You know what I mean? 3 verses, 48 bars, told the story about police brutality. So definitely salute to him. You know what I mean? So that's what it is. Like I said, it's nothing but positive stuff, because at the end of the day, I'm gonna retweet your shit. Do you know how many people DM me and hit me all the time like, yo, Kill, I got my new album, can you retweet it? Anything that you post, I'm gonna retweet it, so it's gonna get your music out in front of more people. And then, like I said, it's a free beat. The beat is yours to keep. I don't want no money for it. Just produced by Kill. Use it for whatever you're working on. So again, it's nothing but positive stuff in it. So it's that. Number 2, I gotta give a shout out to my brother Kel right here. I had a procedure done on my back and I was shook. And I went out, me, Kelvin, my man Damar, we went out to a Morgan game a couple of weeks ago, and I was talking to them about it. They like assured me like, yo, bro, you just gotta get your health and take care of your stuff. So Kel, just wanted to say here in front of everybody, I appreciate the brotherhood. I appreciate you doing that, because it definitely, dog, I was scared. Like, I had 3 fucking nightmares about this shit before I had it done. But it was like you said, by the time I was about to ask, hey, when is the sleeping gas gonna kick in? Nigga, I was in a wheelchair and it was done. So that's exactly what they said was gonna happen. So I was shook for nothing. So again, I challenge people out there, get with your brothers, man. Share what y'all going through, because you'd be shocked. A lot of times what you stressing about, your peoples will probably be able to help you be like, nigga, I done did that already. Like, hell, like colonoscopy, that ain't shit, Kill. Go get that shit done. Like, yeah, you know what I mean? But you know, we keep that shit to ourselves. We stay rumbling the devil by ourselves. So all that to say, just get with your peoples, open up, man. You'd be shocked at how much it can help. But y'all know this, Kill889, Twitter, IG. I will check y'all next week, good peoples.